fuck up, Amir.
Whoa.
All right.
Whoa.
Didn't hear
We're
anything.
doing the
What up,
recording?
everyone? We're doing our predictions for MLB division standings. We're joined by Henry's Cards Coverage. We'll put his link in the description for his Instagram if you're a Cardinals fan or a baseball fan in general. Check out
Put
his
all our
Instagram.
links.
And I'll put
all our
his
links.
channel out too. And then I'm gonna put these two guys' YouTube channels, even though the majority of people know who the fuck these guys are. But
You never
yeah.
know.
So,
Watch it.
what division you want to start out with?
AL or NL first? What do you think?
Let's
I
do
say
NL.
AL.
Would you say
All right.
STL?
I
NL.
was saying AL.
All
Oh,
right.
he said AL. Wow. Okay.
Okay, let's start with AL. All right, so let's start off with the AL Central.
Oh my God.
All right, AL Central. What's your?
Wait. Why is the camera on me?
You're
You go
starting.
first.
Oh, are we going last to first or first to last?
Last to first.
Last to first, yeah. Let's do
All
last.
right. So in fifth place, I don't have an exact win total. I'm just gonna say who I think
don't
is
need
gonna
that.
be
Yeah.
what place, but I think the White Sox are clearly the worst team in the AL Central. Like they just not good. They lost Dylan Cease now. They still have Luis Robert, but they lost Dylan Cease. You don't have Tim Anderson, which I know he wasn't good, but that's still a big loss. So, yeah, Benintendi's overpaid. Hendricks is gone now. It is what it is. The White Sox are going to be the worst franchise in the AL Central.
All right, Colby.
Yeah, I agree. I got the White Sox in fifth. They lost everybody. I mean, they still have Luis Robert, but they might even trade him at the deadline, maybe, if they get like a big package. But yeah, they lost pretty much everything. They're gonna be fifth. Like that division's bad, but they're the worst out of all of them. Like, yeah, I got White Sox fifth.
All right, Amir Shah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with White Sox. I think they're the worst team. They lost a lot of players, like Cards Coverage and Colby said. I just don't see much talent, and maybe they're just gonna have like a rebuild year. But yeah, they're gonna be the worst team in this crappy division, the worst division in baseball.
Yeah, it is the worst division in baseball because I think the NL Central is way better. They have like more. At least the teams could be competitive. I think the White Sox are dog shit. The last place. They have Paul DeYoung at shortstop. So
I forgot about that.
that's why I was laughing. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Paul Young and Charlie
I
Montoya.
forgot about that.
Charlie Montoya is their bench coach, so I have no faith in that guy. Again,
Bondi's favorite.
shut up. They have Robert moving aren't they moving Kopech to like the bullpen too? So I don't know what they're doing really. I think they're
Yeah,
gonna
they
have
lost Eric Bummer too.
they're gonna have 100+ losses. I think every team in that division is gonna whoop their ass pretty much, and in the AL. So
I don't know about you, but I have a hot take about the White Sox. I think Luis Robert, despite the White Sox, he's going to go off and hit 40 home runs.
oh yeah, he's gonna carry that team.
Yeah.
All right, so fourth place now.
Fourth place right now. I'm kind of debating, but you guys go first. I need to think about this a little more.
Okay, I could go first. Fourth place, I think, is. See, this is really tough, but I think it might be Detroit Tigers who might be fourth place. I just don't really know what they have on their roster, and I don't know what they really added. So, yeah, I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah, I agree. I got the Tigers in fourth. I mean,
All
they
right,
just
so-
they don't.
All right, so Max is gonna be really mad at me.
Wait, he let
Just-
Kobe finish.
Just cut me
sorry,
off.
let me finish. Let me finish.
He's been Jim Edmonds here.
Shit, Evan.
But yeah, they really didn't add him much. I know they got Jack Flaherty now. We'll see what he does in Detroit. He's kind of a bum. But yeah. But yeah, they don't got a whole lot of talent. I mean, Baez is still Baez. He's gonna be bad. He's so bad. My tripod almost fell. But yeah, I got the Tigers in fourth. Jeez.
You got a tripod?
Yeah, I got it set up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, go ahead on whoever.
All right, so Maxwell, I bet, is gonna be really mad at me. because this is just a transition period for the Indians. I don't give a shit. I think they're like Steven Vogt's their manager now. He was a player like a couple of years ago. You all right?
Yeah.
All right, so it's like Steven Vogt was like their manager a couple of years ago, and I like the talent of the team. I like Ramirez. Gonzalez is good. I like their pitching. They always develop good pitching every year, but I just think the lack of hitting, and I think other teams in the division are like better. They're more advanced and like they're more balanced, and like they don't have to go through a manager transition. So I think they'll finish in fourth because it's Stephen Vogt's first year, and like you're moving on from Terry Francona to Stephen Vogt. It's gonna be a process, in my opinion.
I believe in Stephen Vogt. I believe in Stephen Vogt.
Oh my god! What is everybody's thing falling over?
Anyway, I'm also.
Well, I have the laptop. It ain't falling over.
Wait, what team you going with? Cards coverage?
I'm going to actually agree with Bondi here and go with the Cleveland Guardians in fourth place because, again, after I just thought about, too, like you said, they have Jose Ramirez. I mean, will Andres Jimenez bounce back to his 2022 form? Who else do we have? Will Cal Manzardo come in?
Josh Naylor.
Josh Naylor is pretty good too. He's a pretty good first baseman. Honestly, I could see him eventually being on the trade block. Maybe not this year, but maybe this offseason or next trade deadline at some point. But I could honestly see the Guardians trading Shane Bieber. And I actually hope it's to the Cardinals, but Mosaic, he's happy with Cal Gibson as his starter. So I don't know about that, but I do think that Shane Bieber will be traded this deadline because it's his walk year. And ultimately, I do think the Guardians are just going to be the fourth place team. But I do think that they're going to see breakouts from like Gavin Williams, maybe even Tristan McKenzie has a pretty solid year. But yeah, fourth place.
Oof.
All right.
So
we'll start Robertson.
Me third?
Yeah. You for third. Cole.
I got Bondi. I know you probably haven't won the division, but I got the Royals in third. They had an okay offseason. I'm not gonna lie. Like they had some solid players, but it's not enough. I mean, Bobby Witt's gonna have a good year. I feel like they got Perez still. They added Michael Wacha. I think that could be a good pickup for them. Michael Wacha's a pretty solid pitcher. Seth Lugo could be good. They got Will Smith. Like they made some solid additions, but like they're not like over the top additions. Like they're adding like mediocre players. Like really, I don't know why people think they're winning the division. I just don't see it.
Bondi.
But yeah, they could have a good year, but I don't think it's good enough for the division. Like I don't know. No.
All right, cards coverage.
Yeah, I'm actually also going to put the Royals in third place because they extended Bobby Witt. That was a very smart move for the future. They added Wacha. They added some other pieces. I mean, they actually outspent the Cardinals at one point, but the Cardinals got jealous and signed Brandon Crawford and Matt Carpenter to say, we outspent the Royals here. But seriously, I think Brady Singer's going to have a pretty good year. He's been a great young pitcher for them. And fun fact, his dad is Ben's, the other owner of the accounts, his baseball coach. So I'll be rooting for him. So Brady Singer, I think he's going to have a good year. I think we're going to see some breakouts in their offense and all, but I don't know. I don't see the Royals like making the playoffs,
Yeah. Someone else thinks they are, but
Yeah, I'm going with the Royals, Bondi. I agree. I just don't see where you see them winning the division. But they have improved. They got Bobby Witt. He's really good. They extended him. They got some pitching. They're definitely improving and they're going in the right direction. But and maybe they could win the division because of how crappy it is, but I don't think so. And I think that's why they're gonna be third. I just don't think their pitching is that great, and their hitting's okay. Like it's not whatever.
All right, yeah, I got the Tigers in third. All this royal slander is getting me crazy.
Royal slander. He froze.
All right, yeah. So they added Maeda. They added Flaherty to their rotation, just like veterans. They have Scooble. I don't know if is Casey Mize gonna be back. I don't. I like Scooble. He's a really good piece. Again with Baez, he's terrible. He's like the worst player on the planet every time he swings the bat. I love Torkelson. He had a good sophomore year. I think he can get better in the average department. But yeah, I think they'll be a third place, middle of the pack, and then maybe AJ Hinch is gone after this year, so they can try to find a real manager. I know AJ Hinch is solid. It's not working at Detroit, so give me Detroit in third.
All right, so second, I got the Guardians. I still think they have a good team. Like they still have Ramirez, Bieber, but I think if they start struggling, like STL Card said, like Bieber could be traded, which he's been in trade rumors for a while now, so it wouldn't surprise me at this point. But yeah, I still think they have a solid team. Like they have that one reliever, what is his name, Clace, Emmanuel Clace. How do you pronounce it?
Class A. Yeah.
Class A.
Yeah.
Like they have McKenzie. He's a good young arm to have. But yeah, I still think they are a serviceable team. Like I don't think they're fourth, like you guys say, but I think they're not better than the number one team we'll get into. But yeah, I got the Guardians second.
All right, STL.
In second place, this has been a tough decision for me, and I honestly, while I want to penalize the Twins for how much pitching they lost, I don't think the Detroit Tigers will have enough to overcome them. But I do think they're in for a breakout season. Like if you look at their roster, they got a lot of young guys who could be very good, like Terry. Excuse me. Like Tarek Skubal. They have Casey Mize. Another sneeze. Anyway, they got Tarek Skubal, Casey Mize in the rotation. Hitting wise, there's a lot of promise with.
This year is gonna be great.
But hitting wise, there's a lot of promise with Torkelson. He just extended Colt Keith, so hopefully he'll be a productive player for them. Obviously, as you said, Baez is no good. We've already beaten that dead horse. He's always been overrated since he was on the Cubs. But you have Riley Green. You have oh my gosh, another sneeze about to come out. But you have Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, a lot of good young players on that team, and I think we're going to see a breakout from like Green and Carpenter and Torkelson, especially maybe even Colt Keith. But ultimately, although I do think Jack Flaherty's going to have a bounce back year because the Tigers just are always good at developing pitching somehow, and Scooball's going to do well, and so is like Casey Mize. I just can't see them topping the Twins this year, so I'm going to say second place. Maybe they work on their bullpen a little bit this deadline, and that changes, though.
Amir Shah.
Yeah, so I have the Cleveland Guardians at number 2. I think that they didn't lose that much besides my boy Cal Quantrill. The Guardians, I also like Jose Ramirez, Shane Bieber, Tristan McKenzie, and Josh Naylor. So I think they have like solid hitting and solid pitching, and like I think Shane Bieber could get traded, but he's one of those players that we always talk about getting traded, and then he never gets traded. Like every trade deadline is like Shane Bieber to the Cardinals or something, and it just doesn't happen. I wish he does, because I like Shane Bieber, and the only problem with him also, Shane Bieber, is that he's injury prone. So this is why I don't think they'll take the number 1 spot. And so yeah, that's what I think.
All right, so I got the Twins in second place. Yeah, I think they made a little bit of a downgrade this year. They traded Polanco. But again, I like Pablo Lopez in the rotation. These are ace. They're gonna hit. Like they always hit. The Twins always develop hitting. Kepler had a bounce back year. Royce Lewis is gonna be a solid player.
He owns your team, yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, they killed my team in the playoffs last year. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
I think the Twins are going to finish in second place. It's going to be hard to repeat that division because every team is really, and the definition is mid. So that's why I got them in second.
All right. So first place, I got the Twins winning it again. Like you said, they have really good hitting. Lewis, Buxton, Correa. Like they have some good hitters. The problem is their pitching is a little shaky. They lost Gray and Kenta Maeda, and so they lost a couple pitchers, but they still have Polanco they still have Lopez. But yeah, I still think they are the best team, like on paper wise. But it won't surprise me if they lose the division because like this division is just mid, like you said. But I got the Twins first again.
Yeah, I also got the Twins first because, like, as much as I want to like knock them down because they lost Sonny Gray, Kenta Maeda, and a lot of other pitching, I mean, they still got Pablo Lopez. Joe Ryan was a great ad, a great steal from the Rays. Like, how often do you fleece the Rays? Not very often, right?
Not us.
Not the Cardinals. Who knows? Watch Palacios be a superstar and Kittredge be absolutely
Please no.
But seriously, they got Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez. They got some good pitching. I know also like Bailey Ober can be a solid contributor too. They still need to add some pitching at the deadline. I feel like they're going to be in the mix for that, pitching at the deadline, but they still got a good offense. Like Carlos Correa, I think, is going to have a bounce back year. I think Edward Julian's going to build upon this year. You know, pretty solid offense. I'm not sure Byron Buxton can stay healthy, but as we said, Max Kepler, Manuel Margot, Royce Lewis, if he stays healthy for a full season, that man's going to have an insane breakout season. Like, that guy has the potential to be an all-star, maybe even a Silver Slugger winner someday. But I do think their offense is going to keep them in it long enough, and their experience just being in the playoffs and like being a good team overall is going to be ultimately what gives them the edge over the Detroit Tigers. Like, even though they don't have Sonny Gray and all that, I still think all that experience is going to play into their favor. And shout out to Juan Duran, who I love trading for in MLB The Show. So
Yeah, I can't wait till we get to the Nationals. All right, Amir.
Yeah, so obviously it's the Twins. Us three agree on the Twins. We already know what Bondi's gonna go with. I think the Twins, yeah, they lost Sonny Gray and they lost some pitching.
Maeda.
But Maeda, yeah, that's his name, Kenta Maeda. I actually had him in fantasy last year. He was decent. But Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober, like that's a decent rotation for this division. Like normally I'd be like, oh yeah, that's not that great, but for this crappy division, it's still pretty good, you know. And they have the hitting. They have Buxton, who's a pretty good hitter. So I think the Twins should win this division. I mean, this division is like really crappy. Any of these teams could really win. But that's just who I think it's going to be. They've consistently been pretty good. They have Carlos Correa still. I mean, I know he wasn't that great last year, but I think he'll bounce back. They just need their guys to stay healthy. They just have a lot of injuries. That's what causes them. But they still, last year with those injuries, still won that division.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so I got the hot take of the fucking year, the decade. Me and Amir had the bet. I got the Kansas City Royals winning the division. I think it's been like what? When did they last time make the playoffs? 2015 when they won the World Series. So I think they've had a really good offseason adding, Hunter Renfroe. They added who did they add? They added Michael Walker.
definitely.
A lot of depth to their team. I like the guy that they got from the Rangers, Reagans, right? He's a good pitcher. What you said about Brady Singer, he can have like a bounce back year. I just think it's time for them like to break out. I think Bobby Witt's gonna lead that team to the division lead, and not by a fucking margin. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be in the 80s, I think. And I just think it's hard to repeat that division because every team has a chance except the White Sox. I just think they're punting the season. So that's my prediction. I got the Royals in first.
Watch the White Sox.
I got a question for you, Bondi. So who do you think's going to be the better Missouri team? The Cardinals or the
Cardinals,
Royals?
yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Really?
Really? I'm really shocked about that one.
We'll see. We'll see if I have a change of heart. If you fucking change my heart.
Yeah, the Royals are better than us. That's bad.
That happens.
If that
With
happened,
Gibson pitching, they might
Ozzy,
be
you would
better.
win a shirt if that happened.
Damn right.
With
Oh.
Gibson pitching, they'll be better in
Kyle
next year.
Gibson.
This was the worst division to go over. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
So
So,
let's go.
do you want to do the West or the
We'll do the West
East?
and then my division last.
All right. So, obviously, the West, Oakland's last. I mean, there's not much to say. Like, this team is just really bad. Like, I think who's starting for them opening day? Who is it? Ross Stripling. They got Ross Stripling and Alex Wood. I think. Like,
your
yeah,
guy.
it's terrible. Like that
He's a
team.
legend.
They have like a couple of young, good studs, but like it's just not enough. That division is way too loaded for them to even try to compete. Like
All
last
right.
place.
Yeah, STL.
Yeah. In last place, I have the Texas Rangers. No, I'm kidding. Athletics. The Oakland Athletics, as Colby said, they're a pathetic excuse of a baseball team. Like, you could even argue that some AAA teams might be better than them. Like, I think they should be competing with the Memphis Redbirds and not the St. Louis Cardinals. But seriously, Zach Galoff, he's a very good young player. They got a lot of young talent. I'm really rooting for J.J. Bleday because he went to high school in Panama City, where I'm from, so I really want to see him do well. But unfortunately, he just hasn't been hit in the MLB, so he needs to get better, or else Panama City looks bad. So he got to get better. But yeah, Ross Stripling, Alex Wood, who I don't know, man. The A's are just a sorry excuse of a baseball team. Like, who knows where they'll even be playing next year? Like, they don't even know where they're going to be playing. They're rendering for their new stadium is a carbon copy of the Sydney Opera House. Like, and who knows? Las Vegas doesn't even want the A's. Like, really, no one wants this team. Oakland doesn't want them. Las Vegas doesn't want them. Like, what are they going to do? That franchise is terrible. But last place, and I would be surprised if they won 60 games.
Yeah.
All right, Amir.
Yeah, last place, Oakland A's. We all agree on this one. They have like some like decent pitchers actually. Like Paul Blackburn isn't bad, and JP Sears is okay, but their hitting is just so forgettable. Like I can't even tell you. Like and I don't even know if they made any acquisitions. They even Oakland doesn't want them, and they're going to Vegas. I feel bad for the fans because but they don't show up anyway. So the team is so bad. But I feel bad that like loyal Oakland A's fans won't have a team anymore. They'll be going to Vegas. But this is the worst team. Their hitting is terrible. Their pitching is okay. Like I named some pretty decent pitchers, which I wish they would actually trade some of them. Maybe Cardinals pick up one of those guys.
Blackburn, come on,
Oh,
Blackburn.
Blackburn is not bad actually.
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
had him
mind him.
last year in fantasy. He was decent.
All
Might
right,
as well go
so
shopping.
yeah. Obviously, it's the Oakland A's of Vegas County or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Next year, I don't even know where they're going to be playing. Maybe they'll play in the AAA stadium in Vegas. I don't really know. They're terrible. On paper, they're terrible. No one wants to come and see them. Their owner's terrible. It's just a very poor run organization. I love Estor Ruiz. He can steal a shitload. I think I got him in fantasy. He's going to steal a lot of bags. He's not the best hitter, but he can steal a lot of bags. They have some pieces. Brett Rooker, probably a deadline trade. They have Spears, Stripling, and Wood, all like middle rotation guys. So those are guys that, like, I just see a bunch of guys are gonna get traded at the deadline. Every veteran is gonna be a trade piece, and they're gonna lose 100+ games. So, yeah, last place.
In fourth place, they got the Angels. Talking about another poverty franchise. This is another poverty franchise. Like, Mike Trout, he just wants to stay loyal all the time. Like, he does not want out. I don't get it, but I mean, at least he's loyal. You can say that, but I don't know what he's doing. Like, he's wasting his career there, and like he's never gonna win anything there. Anthony Rondon, he don't even like baseball anymore. Like, what's going on with this guy? Like, this guy is nuts. Like, he got out of a bad contract by them, and they really didn't do much this offseason. Really, like, they were in on some free agent starters, but they didn't end up getting nobody. Like, yeah, this team's not very good. They're fourth place.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there because, like, they lost Shohei Ohtani, who was factor in like 10 wins for the team alone as a player, like 10 more player when he's healthy. So you lost him. They were rumored to be in the mix for Blake Snell, Cody Bellinger, all those big four Boris guys, but they didn't get a single one of them. So they not able to replace Otani's production very much. It's Mike Trout, I think he's still going to do his thing, but even he's struggling to stay healthy nowadays. Like he's still very good, but can he stay healthy? They got some good, solid pitchers like Reed Detmers. Um, you know, Sandoval's pretty solid as well. Um, but yeah, he obviously Sandoval is not an ace or anything. I'm just saying he's solid. But bullpen, they have Matt Moore. They got Zuniga from the Cardinals, which I actually think that Zuniga might actually be pretty decent. They also got a former Cardinal reliever in Luis Garcia, who was actually pretty good for the Cardinals, but they let him walk for no reason whatsoever. They also got Robert Stevenson, pretty good. Ben Joyce is a flamethrower. I don't know why the Cardinals didn't draft him. That
He throws
2021
gas,
draft.
that guy. He throws gas.
Yeah, that 2021 draft was full of mistakes by the Cardinals. So, anyways, they should have drafted him. The Angels were smart enough to. He's going to be good. But, yeah, Nolan Shanuel, I think he can have a pretty solid year, but he's going to be more of a contact hitter. Renjifo's okay. Oh, Logan O'Hoppe, we'll see what he can do. Rendon, no. Taylor Ward and Mickey Moniak, who knows? I think Taylor Ward will actually be pretty solid, but Mickey Moniak and Joe Adele, who knows? So, yeah, they still don't they have Brandon Drury too, right?
Yeah.
Jury.
So he's solid as well. But yeah, I know Ron Washington wanted them to said that they're gonna like go out and try to win the division and all that. But I'm like, I'm sorry, Ron, but you should have stayed with the Braves, man.
Yeah. All right, Amir.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Angels too. They just they're lucky that the A's are in this division because they would probably be at the bottom. It's also they lost. Of course, they lost Otani, but everybody was talking about them getting Blake Snell. They didn't get Blake Snell. Their pitching is really subpar slash like mid. The best pitcher they have is Sandoval, and he's not that great. Tyler Anderson, like who do they really have? Luis Garcia bullpen, like that was our bullpen guy. I mean, he's all right, but like in terms of depth, they don't really have much depth in the pitching, and their hitting ain't that great. I like Taylor Ward, but he can't stay healthy too. He always gets hurt. I had him last year, fantasy. He was always hurt, Taylor Ward. So, and they have Mike Trout, but he also is another guy that you don't know if he's going to play the full season. Great player. Bondi hates him for no reason, but yeah.
Yeah, retract that. Mike Trout's on my fantasy team, so I pretty love him every whole year. But yeah, they're gonna be a third place team.
Third place.
It's fourth place.
I'm fourth place team.
Fourth place.
Fourth place team. I meant. I had football in my head. I don't know why. Yeah, they're gonna be a fourth place team. They're terrible. New manager Rod Washington. He failed before in that division. He can fail again. Yeah, who's that guy? Who's that infielder you were talking about? Cards coverage.
Which
Brad
one?
Drury?
The guy who
Tatum?
he got drafted and they got called up right away.
Was it Nolan Shanuel?
Yeah, that's really interesting. He usually players take time to develop. This guy went like straight from rookie ball to the majors like that. So he's a good player. Shangwell, like that's really impressive for any player. Again, they have Mike Trout. Again, he's injury prone. They're like the A's, except they're going to be better offensively and a little bit more entertaining to watch. At least they'll field like a competitive ball club, but they're not good enough to compete with the big dogs of the division. So they're in fourth place.
All right.
I do think at the deadline, do y'all agree with this? Because of how good they've actually made their bullpen pretty solid. Y'all think that at the deadline they'll maybe make some trades? Use that to their advantage?
It depends what their record is going to be when
Yeah.
it comes to the deadline. If they don't have a good record, they're obviously going to sell their players and trade them off.
Yeah.
All right. In third place
Don't think
go ahead.
be good. Sorry,
All right.
Colby. Go ahead.
My bad. All right, go ahead.
No, I just said I just don't think the Angels are going to be good. Poor Ron Washington.
All right. In third place, this is tough because the top three are really good.
Yeah.
But I got Seattle in third. I like their team. Like they have some good young pitching. They obviously Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, George Kirby. Like they have some good young pitching. Obviously, their offense is pretty good. They added Mitch Garver from the Rangers. That was a good pickup. Yeah, they still have Crawford, and they still have obviously Julio. So I still think like they have a good team, but that top two, in my opinion, is just better than them.
Yeah, I got the Mariners in third as well. Like the Mariners, pretty solid roster. Um, they have a lot of good young pitching that's gonna do well for them, but the hitting it's okay. But I feel like they could have done more to improve their hitting this offseason. Like I know they got what's his name, Mitch Garver. They have Ty France. Um, they also have, as you said, Crawford short. But I feel like they could have gotten another outfielder in there. Like I know they got Haniger back for Robbie Ray, but I don't know. I feel like they should have added a little more offensively. Julio's
Mhm.
still going to be a superstar. Maybe he'll win another home run derby or something like that. But yeah, I think that they're obviously the third place team, but I don't think they will be a bad team. I think they will be in the playoff race for the most of the season.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
agree.
Amir.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to be pretty good. It's just a really tough division, with the two Texas teams. But I like their pitching. They have some pretty good pitchers: Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, and George Kirby. And then I like Julio Rodriguez with their hitting and Ty France, and they just have like a nice team. It's just that the teams in front of them are a little bit more loaded, and they've been to the playoffs and they have the experience. Mariners have been there, but every time they go, they like lose pretty quickly. Um, except for beating the Blue Jays, but but yeah, I think they'll finish third. But I think like St. Louis Cardinals coverage said they will be competing and they will be in that wild card race. And who knows, maybe they can pull it off. But I think they'll be pretty. I think they'll be a decent team, pretty good team.
Watch their pitching just lock down in
Yeah,
the playoffs and win the World Series.
Oh my God.
it's like the
Yeah,
Diamondbacks last year, like nobody saw.
yeah. Baseball's unpredictable, really. Like you seen $100 billion team get smacked by the Padres yesterday. But I mean today. Yesterday in 9 minutes. All right.
Streaming that
Yeah, I got the Mariners at third. I think they're like they're like on that bunch of teams that could make the wild card. Again, I like their pitching. Castillo, Kirby, Gilbert. Woo! Yeah, I think he's gonna be a good player. I love their hitting. I think Ty France will have a bounce back year. I think he could be like 2022 Ty France. Um, yeah, Julio's always gonna be good. They brought back McKenniger back from the dead. He's gonna probably play really good. The Mariners. He's just a Mariner for life, apparently. But again, the Texas teams ahead of them are just too good. They're stacked, so that's why they're gonna be in third. But they could be like a wild card team. So yeah.
All right, second place, I got the Astros. They had a good offseason. Like they added to their bullpen. They got Hader and they still have Graveman. And their pitching, they're so good at drafting and developing like their pitching, like mainly the whole team they're really good at it too. They still have Bergman, Altuve, Jeremy Pena, like they still have obviously Alvarez in the outfield. Like they still are a stacked team. I just like the Rangers better, like overall the whole roster. But yeah, I think the Astros are going to be a good team per usual. Like every year, they're always a good team. So yeah.
In second place, this is going to be contradicting Colby, but I actually have the World Series champion Rangers finishing second. And here's why. Nothing against them. They have a very exciting offense, which we'll go over that in a second. But, they got some good rotation, but they should have kept Jordan Montgomery. I don't know what their excuse is, like the financial situation. Like, come on, you're a Texas team. You should have money for this. Like, you just won the World Series too. Like all that revenue, and you can't keep Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery was the reason that they won that World Series with his clutch performances. Because like Scherzer wasn't good, DeGrom wasn't healthy, but yeah, they got some solid pitching. Eovaldi, John Gray, Tyler Malley, Heaney, but DeGrom and Scherzer will probably be healthy later in the season, but I just think that the pitchings might be a little bit too late and hold them back from winning the division. But I still think that they will be one of the better wild card teams in the playoffs. It's just that um, I do think that their pitching until DeGrom and Scherzer are healthy is going to hold them back a little bit. But the offense, very good. Corey Seager, MVP candidate. Marcus Semien, very consistent. Nathaniel Lowe needs to have a bounce back season. Jonah Heim's a good catcher. Um, Evan Carter, I think it's going to be Rookie of the Year, is going to be a two-way race between him and Wyatt Langford, in my opinion. So I think that's going to be very exciting to watch. And then you still have Adolis Garcia. But yeah, very good team. I just think that without the pitching, it's going to be a little bit hard to keep up with the Astros.
All right, Amir.
Yeah, so I agree with Colby. I think it's gonna be the Astros who finish second, but St. Louis Cardinals coverage made some good points. This division comes down to these two teams, I think, and it's gonna be really, really close. The Astros have one of the best teams, and I think they will be a wild card team if obviously they don't win the division. Justin Verlander, they got Valdez, and they got Christian Javier, who are pretty good pitchers. They got Josh Hader, like Colby said, even though I'm just happy he's gone from the Brewers, and like completely like just gone from like our division and the NL entirely. And they have Jose Altuve and Bregman. They just have like really good hitting, really good pitching. They're a well-rounded team. I think they could easily win this division. It's between the two Texas teams, but we'll see how it goes. This is really tough between these two teams. I was debating which one to pick, but I think the Astros finished second. I think the Rangers still have a little bit more depth in them, and I think they'll finish a little bit higher.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Colby and Amir. I got the got the Houston Astros in second. Nothing against them. They're all a little bit older team, but at the same time, they have their core guys who won a couple World Series. Altuve, Bregman, Jordan, Kyle Tucker. And then you have the depth guys like Chaz. The new catcher from last year, he's good. Diaz is a really good player. And then their pitching, just all solid guys. Verlander, I know he's not gonna. I don't know if he's gonna start the year. I don't think so, but he hasn't really lost a step. He's still solid. And then they added Josh Hader. The bullpen looks better than last year, but at the same time, they're getting older, and that's why. And I also think again the Rangers have more resources and they're deeper, so that's why I think they'll be in first. But I won't be shocked if the Astros win our fucking World Series this year. Like, will that be shocking to you guys?
No,
No.
They're always in the hunt.
They're always in the hunt.
playoffs.
Yeah.
They basically displaced the Yankees as the team to fear in the American.
Yeah, and they always beat the Yankees too.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
You Blue Jays lose too to them, just if you even make it there.
Yeah, I don't.
W. Rose, good job.
I didn't know you were a Yankee fan. But yeah.
All right. I got the Rangers finishing first. You did bring up good points, STL. Their pitching is a little shaky. But Nathan Eovaldi, he had a really good year. I think he's like be good again. John Gray's solid. They're going to be even more better once they get, like you said, DeGrom and Scherzer back. I don't know how long they're going to be out for, but and that offense, I think is what's going to be carrying them because like they can score runs, they can put runs up on you. But yeah, I mean, if their offense goes cold, I won't be surprised if like they lose some games because like that pitching is they should have brought back Montgomery. Like he was like they're one of their studs in that playoff run they had, World Series run. But yeah, I think that Montgomery loss will hurt him a bit, but I still like that offense really a lot. But yeah, got the Rangers first.
Yeah, the Rangers are a good team, and yeah, Wyatt Langford, man, that guy is he should have been the number one pick,
Mm-hmm.
But in first place, I got the Houston Astros. Great rotation. I know Verlander's going to miss some time, but you still got Framber Valdez, Christian Javier. Maybe Hunter Brown takes the step forward this year is what I'm seeing is Hunter Brown taking the step forward. Like he has a lot of potential. His ERA last year was 5, but I think that, another full season under his belt, he's going to do a lot better. Maybe ERA closer to 4, maybe even a little less than that, because like his peripherals, he has good strikeout numbers. He just really needs to cut down on the home runs given per 9. So if he can do that, I think he's going to be a very good starter for them and have a breakout year. Great bullpen. They always have a great bullpen. You just added one of the best relievers in baseball in Josh Hader, but you still have Presley. Maybe Montero breaks out. You have Abreu, a lot of other guys in there. Good offense. Jose Abreu's a little old, but I think he's going to do a little bit better than he was last year. But here's the key factor why I think the Astros are going to go off and win the division. Because this could potentially be the last year of that great core that they have. Like, they still keeping Altuve around, but Bregman's on the expiring contract. They still haven't extended him yet. Cal Tucker has a couple more years, obviously, but you never know, like, what ends up happening. Will Cal Tucker sign an extension or will he leave? They have Alvarez for the future, but Pena, he needs to be more consistent, in my opinion, as a hitter. But, yeah, I think this could potentially be the last year, especially if Verlander retires after this season. So if this is the last year of their dynasty, I think they're going to go out on a bang and make a big push to win the division and make it back to the World Series one more time. So that's why I have them first.
All right, Amir.
Yeah, I have the Rangers first. They won the World Series, but I just think like they have a lot of depth. Like I like their hitting and their pitching. Like I like Adolis Garcia. He was so good last year. Um, Seager was so good last year as well. Jonah Heim was one of the best catchers. He was playing well. They got Scherzer and DeGrom. I know DeGrom can't stay healthy, but they won without him last year. So imagine if he can come back and pitch. He probably won't, but that's still a plus. And they have Evaldi who pitched well. This team is just really deep. But like I said, if the Astros won the division, I would not be shocked. It's between, I think, these two Texas teams. I think that the Rangers are pretty deep in the hitting department and the pitching department. And I think that, they should have got Montgomery, but I guess Montgomery is asking for a lot of money because he's still not signed. So,
Yeah. All
Which
right.
is crazy. It's freaking March.
Montgomery's not signed yet. It's a crime against humanity.
And he's the
But
last one
anyway,
available, too.
JD
let's get to the Rangers. They look like half their fucking rotations in the IL, like Scherzer, and they have like Tyler Mahle, like they have a lot of, and DeGrom. They're like, but they have a lot of good veterans on the rotation. It just looks stacked, and then their hitting is just it's balanced with Garcia. Again, Wyatt Langford is going to make his debut this year, and Ethan Carter he made his debut late last year, and he's still rookie eligible. So yeah, he could go for the rookie of the year. Josh Jung, like they have a good balance of vets, like with Seager and Simeon too. They have a good balance of vets and young players, and then they have Bruce Bochy, one of the best managers of all time. So that's why I think they could repeat and they could win this division. I think they win the division. I don't know about repeating, but they're just good enough they could win a lot of games, like 90 something, and repeat and win the division event.
Colby, he talked a lot about veteran presences. Are we sure this isn't John Mozeliak?
I said they have a balance. They have a good balance.
We got a retirement home, man. At least they have good
But like
veterans.
good veterans like Seager and Simeon, not fucking. We'll get to the Cardinals. Not Carpenter and
Lance Lynn.
I was just ready to
Lynn
go
and
off on the Cardinals.
Crawford.
Oh yeah, I can't wait till we get to the Cardinals.
I just want to blast them for everything.
That's
All right, and then my division, the AL East.
All right, I got the Red Sox last. Their pitching is pretty bad. They got some young arms, but I don't think they're ready this year. But they got Giolito, and then he got hurt. Isn't out for the whole year now? Like,
yeah, he is.
And then like they still have their offenses, and they still have Devers. They got our boy Tyler O'Neill. We'll see what he does in Boston. Oh my God! But yeah, this team is just not very good. Like Trevor Story, he's terrible. Like my God, a terrible contract, terrible deal by them. But yeah, they got Kenley Jansen, they got Liam Hendricks. They're solid additions, but like they're not. They're gonna. This division's too stacked for them. Like every other team in this division, at least is better in my opinion. So yeah.
Yeah, I also got the Boston Red Sox in last place. Like they have Brian Bello as a good young starter. It's a smart decision to lock him up, but Lucas Giolito got injured. That wasn't good. Um, Beyond that, you still got a few solid back end starters, but it's just not a great rotation, especially now that you lost Giolito. And they were rumored to be in the Montgomery mix, but they seem to be in no rush to do this, and they might even let him go back to the Yankees. So I don't know what's up with that. Bullpen, they got Jansen, got a couple solid pieces in the bullpen, but I don't see it being a great bullpen, to be honest. Tristan Casas, Bobby Dahlbeck, um, Rafael Devers, Jaron Duran. They have a pretty solid group of young players that are coming up. They have one of the better farms in baseball, so I do think they have a pretty solid future. But, you know, I don't know. The AL East is a very stacked division. I don't think the Red Sox will be trash like Oakland A's caliber or even LA Angels caliber trash. But, you know, it's just they're obviously the worst team in the AL East. And lastly, I just want to say, Jason and Justice, if you're watching this, the Red Sox are poverty. The Cardinals own y'all, and Jordan Walker is going to hit a grand slam against y'all someday.
What?
Yo, I agree.
Where does the grand slam come from?
All right, Amir Shaw time.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Red Sox in my opinion. I'm just looking at this roster and I'm not really impressed. Like Rafael Devers is good and their pitching ain't that great. Like Brian Bellows okay, but he still had like a 4 ERA last year, wasn't that impressive. I don't think Nick Pivetta is that great. Kenley Jansen, he's kind of old and he's just not as good as he used to be. And when he pitched against the Cardinals, it was funny how he lost the games. He just walked players. I don't. The Red Sox are just gonna be the worst team because this division is so tough. I really like. Yeah, like this was the only team that I could see like for sure being last. I heard that they were trying to get Jordan Montgomery, but I still think even if they got him, that wouldn't solve anything. That'd be the worst place for him to go. So
I got the Red Sox last place. I think everyone in the division except maybe the Rays will have like a little Mickey battle. Everyone in the division is gonna beat up on them. I like Bello. He's a good young pitcher. I think it's gonna take him some time. They traded for Vaughn Grisham. They got rid of Chris Sale, obviously. Watch him turn out the clock with the fucking Braves. Watch him be an ace again with the Braves. So Grisham's good, a young infielder. I like Tristan Casas. I think he's gonna be a really good first baseman for them. The Red Sox always have good first basemen. I think Bobby Dahlbeck's a bum. They're gonna get rid of him. They traded for Tyler O'Neill. I hope he fails. And Rafael Devers, I hope he leads the fucking league in errors, but he can hit. That guy can hit. So yeah, I think they're last place.
What did Tyler O'Neill do to your franchise? Is there some big moment against the Blue Jays?
No, he's Canadian. He's Canadian.
He just hates him because he's in the division, I guess.
Him and Pivetta are gonna like eat maple syrup.
All right, in fourth place, I don't know if this might surprise people, but I got the Yankees in fourth. Their pitching is without Cole. I'm sorry that without Cole, like that pitching is not very good. Cortez, he's kind of shaky at times. They added Marcus Stroman. He's not very good. He's a head case. Like I don't know. I'm not loving that pitching. Like, and their offense, the problem is they always home run or strikeout. They never get contact, guys. Like, really. Although Juan Soto addition, good, but he could leave after 1 year because, he's a free agent. That'd be a Scott Boras guy, so he might leave. But, yeah, they have a lot of older, like, hitters. Like, LeMahieu's getting older. Rizzo getting old. Like, they have some good Torres, good young guy, but they also got Trent Grisham in the trade. He could be solid, I guess. But yeah, obviously still Judge, but I don't know. I'm not liking their team, to be honest. Like, I got the Yankees in 4th.
That shocked me. Oh.
Hot take. I
Yeah,
hope
that's
so.
That's actually a very sensible.
I mean,
take.
it makes sense, but yeah.
If they fucking suck without Cole the first month, it could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Who you got cards coverage?
so my 4th place team is
Rays.
the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay.
I'm
I want to
joking.
hear this.
All right, you ready to hear this? Let's pull up their roster real quick. Yeah,
Pull it
the
up.
Blue Jays had an okay off season. They added Justin Turner. They still got a good pitching rotation with Bassett. Let's see who else. They have Kevin Gossman, who we should have signed in 2021, but we added Steven Matz instead.
Yeah, I wanted Gotham too.
But they have a Barrios. We'll see what you can get from him. They got a pretty solid bullpen. Jordan Romano, Swanson, Mesa. They got some solid bullpen. Okay offense, but I don't know, man. Kevin Biggio, Kiner Falefa playing a bunch of games. That just doesn't excite me. Bo Bichette is going to be a very good player. I think he's going to be in the race for the batting title once again. But Guerrero, he really needs to have another breakout because I don't know why in the heck did they put him on MLB The Show 24. Like, you should have put Ronald Acuna. It was so obvious Ronald Acuna should have been the cover. But even if it wasn't Acuna, there were so many other players you could have put there. But you chose to put Guerrero, even though he hasn't been good since 2021. But, yeah, George Springer's getting older. Justin Turner's getting older. Kiermaier, not really a good hitter. Varsho, not that great either, to be honest. Kiner Falefa and Biggio, nope. And Guerrero, we'll see. So, yeah, they need to improve offensively.
Okay, Amir.
I'm just so shocked. I think it's gonna be the Tampa Bay Rays. As much as I know that like they always prove me wrong, but I think this is the year where they struggle. I don't like their hitting is just really bad. Their pitching ain't that great. Like what do they have hitting wise? Like Randy Rosarina and Isaac Paredes. Like
Yandy Diaz.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Diaz
yeah,
had a good
yeah,
season
as well.
last year.
Yeah. But I just don't really like this team that much. The pitching isn't that great in my opinion. Eflin, like he isn't that great. Savali, like what? Little, I don't know. I'm not a fan of this team this year. So Bondi could celebrate. It's not the Blue Jays for me
Yeah.
or the Yankees.
I'm
Your
gonna agree with Amir. I don't think we're finishing in 4th place because I think we have the best rotation in the division. But I got the Rays. I just think losing that guy who's gonna be in prison soon. And McClanahan's not going to start the season, so like that's your ace. Like he's gone. I think if they had those two, probably fucking 3rd place. But again, and then they lost. I don't think the devil magic's gonna wear off eventually, man. And I got them in 4th place. I hate the fucking Rays. That's it. No analysis. 4th place.
All right. In 3rd place, I have the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay.
I mean, I like their pitching. Don't get me wrong. Gosman's a stud. You know, Barrios had a good year. Bassett's okay pitcher. We'll see if what's his name? Who's that guy that had a bad year last year?
Manoa.
He had a bad year. He was fucking AAA. Like he was so bad.
Rookie ball, remember?
Oh yeah, rookie ball. Yeah, we'll
Rookie
see if
ball.
he bounces back. I heard he lost some weight. Bonnie told me he lost weight. We'll see if that makes a difference. And so did Vlad. But yeah. Your offense, you have a couple good hitters, you know, Bo and Vlad. Vlad kind of I agree, STL, he should not be in the cover. I'm sorry, he's not. He didn't have a good year like past couple of years. Let's be real. Like Acuna was better, so it just kind of accept it, Bondi. You know, quit being biased all the time.
I can't wait to get to the Cardinals.
I'm not gonna be biased. I'm realistic, but yeah, if you have a good bullpen, you know, Romano, he's good. Swanson, you know, you think he won the trade, which I don't agree with, but
Is
yeah,
Teoscar Hernandez on the team?
He still had 26 home runs. But
Did they make the playoffs?
And hopefully my boy Nathan Luke starts. You know, But yeah, Justin Turner. I don't know. You have a lot of older guys, like, and your outfield not much offense at all. Like besides Springer, I hope he does well. I have him in fantasy, so hopefully he has a bounce back year. He kind of had a down year, but yeah, got the Blue Jays in third. I think they'll be in the middle team. Like they'll be in the wild card race, but
Yeah.
I think they'll be third.
So in third place, I have the Tampa Bay Rays, but I have them only barely edging out the Blue Jays. So I don't think it's a marginally better difference, if that makes you feel better, Bondi. Yeah,
It doesn't.
the rotation, Eflin's pretty good, but Savali is solid. But I don't know about this. Ryan Pepio, I think they're going to pull some magic, and Pepio's just all of a sudden going to turn out to be another Tyler Glasnow or another good frontline starter eventually, because this is what the Rays always do. They always manage to defy the odds, and they call their pitchers Cy Young candidates somehow. So who knows? Zach Littell might win the Cy Young this year, but seriously, I do think that they still have a good bullpen. Like, they added Phil Maton. They already had Pete Fairbanks, Jason Adams, Colin Pache, Sean Armstrong, among others. The offense, yeah, I agree. It's a little questionable, but you still got Yandy Diaz at first. He had a much better year than a lot of other first basemen. Sadly, even Goldschmidt should have been as good as him. Brandon Lau, he's a very good second baseman. I can see him having a good year. Paredes, great young player, good pickup for them. Who knows what they're going to do at shortstop? I think it's Ahmed Rosario, right?
Yeah.
Ahmed Rosario.
Oh my
He's
God.
okay. Maybe Wander Franco beats the odds and comes. No,
He's not beating the odds.
I'm kidding about that. I'm just messing around. But
Yeah, I know.
seriously, Wander Franco deserves to be in prison. But yeah, Ahmed Rosario, I think he'll be solid. Randy Rosarina is a great young player, but he might get traded. The Rays were talking about this offseason. He could get traded.
If he gets traded, they're gonna suck.
Huh?
If they lose Randy, they're gonna be terrible.
Oh yeah, but I don't think it's gonna happen this season. If anything, maybe the offseason. But watch Richie Palacios just go off and hit 40 home runs just because we traded him, right? Like, we all thought that his run of 2 months or month or however long he was good for was just a fluke. But watch him turn out to be like a 40 home run hitter. So yeah, for those reasons alone, that the Rays always just managed to pull something that you never expected, I'm going to put them in third place.
No,
man.
the Rays always do, but I think this is a year where that doesn't happen. But I'm going to go with the Yankees in third place. For me, it was very close between the Yankees and Blue Jays, but the reason I'm going with the Yankees in third is because they don't have Garrett Cole, and he's so important to this team. And I don't really like their pitching that much. Besides, Nestor Cortez is good, and Carlos Rodon kind of struggled. And Colby said, Marcus Stroman, he's a diva, and he ain't that great. And their hitting is good, but it's just like, can these guys, like Aaron Judge can never stay healthy. I had him last year in fantasy, really pissed me off. He can't stay healthy. And get Juan Soto, so that's a nice pickup. I think that the top three teams, they'll be really close in record. And I think the Yankees will be third. I do like Clay Holmes. I think he's a good closer. But yeah, I just think that Juan Soto was a good addition, but I think with Cole going down, they should have made sure to get Blake Snell. Now I hear talks of Montgomery going there possibly as well. That could help him, but I don't know. Montgomery, when he was on the Yankees, he was average. So I think the Yankees finished third, but the top three teams are really good.
All right, so I got the Jays in third.
Biased.
Biased? How?
All right, so I got the Jays in third, even though we have the better pitching than every team in the division, but at the same time, that hitting, we did nothing. Like, it's like they went all in for Ohtani this offseason, and then they didn't get him, and they fucking felt complacent. They didn't go after any other guy to help out their hitting. And again, we don't really have any depth in the outfield. You know, it's just a bunch of utility guys in the outfield, really. But I think, you know, if if a couple of guys can have a bounce back year, we could be in the race for the division. But again, what Amir said, it's going to be close. I think no one's going to. It's not going to be like the Rays last year when they fucking had that big wing streak and then they ran away with the division and choked at the end. I think it's going to be like back and forth throughout the year. I think we're in third, but I won't be shocked if we're top two. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited for the season. Need Vlad to bounce back. Need Bo to be the same. Need Justin Turner to do all right. Need Marshall to do all right. We just need competence, and we need to score with runners in scoring position. That's all I gotta say. We're in third place.
Bondi, I have a question.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts on John Morosi?
fuck him.
Sources say Otani's on the flight to Toronto.
Sources say Morosi's on the flight to Cancun, where he belongs.
All right.
Showing Otani's translator there.
Yeah.
All right. In second place, I have the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm gonna believe in the hype again. I mean, every year I think they're gonna be subpar, like always gonna be average, but every freaking year I've been watching the past few years, like it is unbelievable how much like they lose talent and they just plug guys in from their farm and then they're hitting 30 home runs, like, and they're freaking in the Cy Young race, like it's crazy. I mean, they still have some good talent. I know their ace is gonna be out for the year. It sucks. I like Rosarina. You know, Lowe's good. What, as the STL said, watch Richie Palacios have a good year with them. I wouldn't be surprised. He's a young player, and he just what the Rays do. Like he just goes there and mashes, man. But yeah, I think they have Diaz is a good player too. I mean, their offense is like their bullpen's good. They added to their bullpen. Maton's a good pickup. They still have Fairbanks there. We'll see with that rotation though. I'm really skeptical about that rotation, but like I said, their pitching department, whoever is in charge of that, does an amazing job. But yeah, I'm gonna believe in one more year with the Rays. They might come back and haunt me, like if they're like fifth place or fourth place, and you know you guys can laugh at me. But yeah, I got the Rays second, so there you go.
I don't think that's bad. I don't think so.
In second place, but I see as I think it was Bondi or Sports Critic said it first. It's going to be a tight race in second, third, and fourth. That's the way I see it.
That way. Yeah, I said I agree.
Yeah, I see it being a tight race in second, third, and fourth. So I think the Blue Jays are going to like just be so terrible. No, I think it's going to be a tight race between Rays, Yankees, and Blue Jays. But I see the Yankees coming out on top. I can see Carlos Rodon having a pretty solid bounce back season. I know Cole's going to miss part of the season. That is definitely going to cost them big. But, you know, Cortez, maybe he'll have a good year. Stroman is a diva, but he's solid. Clark Smith has a lot of potential, so who knows what he'll do this year, but I think he'll also be pretty good. So yeah, losing Cole is definitely gonna suck, but I don't think it's gonna like be the end of their season, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Offensive bullpen wise, they're good. Clay Holmes, Loizaga, Conway. You got some other pieces. I think it's a solid bullpen. Could be a little better, but it's a good, okay bullpen. I think he'll do the job. Offensively, I think Juan Soto and Aaron Judge will be MVP candidates, both of them. Like, this is Juan Soto's walk year going to free agency, and usually in your walk year, players just go off and have the best season of their career. So
with the contract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because Juan Soto is playing for a $500+ million contract right now. Because I think he legitimately could get one this offseason. He's definitely going to play his way forward. And with the short porch in right field, him being a left-handed hitter, he's going to hit a career-high home runs. I could honestly see him hitting 40 if all goes right. But I see career highs. Anthony Volpe taking a step forward. I can also see that. I see some regression from like LeMahieu, but Gleyber Torres will have a good year. Rizzo's bounce back. Verdugo we'll see. Maybe he's okay, or maybe he turns out to be a next Joey Gallo. We'll see.
Mhm.
But yeah, Stanton looks a lot healthier. So I think if that translates to him being healthier, he's still going to be a productive player for the team and bounce back a little bit. Then they got the two Oswaldo boys who are pretty solid contributors as well. So, yeah, while I don't think the Yankees are going to be that much better than the Blue Jays and Rays, I think they'll barely edge them out.
All right, man.
Definitely. And I see it the other way where I have the Blue Jays in second. I just like their pitching a lot. Like Kevin Gossman, Barrios played well, and Bassett, And if Alek Manoah ever gets back on track, he was really good a couple of years ago. Now, I know he sucked last year. I had him in fantasy. He really let me down. But I think their pitching is really good. I like their bullpen. I like Jordan Romano. I also like, of course, Vladimir Guerrero. Who knows what if he has a better season this year? Bo Bichette. They needed to do more in free agency, I think. And this division, is really tough. So I think it's gonna be like if Yankees had Garrett Cole, maybe I would have picked them to be second. But I just think it's gonna be so close. I think the Blue Jays will finish second, and yeah, just because their pitching is so good. Like when I look at their pitching and their hitting and Springer. If Springer can bounce back, I know he didn't have that great of a year last year, but if he can get back on track, then they'll be good.
Yeah, thanks for the glazing.
I'm not glazing. These are facts.
Anyways, I do think we can finish in second, but right now, no. All right, I got the Yankees in second place. Yeah, Cole's gonna be out there for a while, but Rendon can't be as bad as last year. For instance, he's actually starting the damn season, so Rendon's gonna be pitching. See if he
Yankee
can
fan.
be like even half as Giants Rendon.
Okay, Yankee fan.
And the hitting, I think Aaron Judge is going to get hurt playing center field again. Like he's just too big to play center field. But again, when he goes down, it's not going to be like the end of the world because then you have Soto. They have more balance with the lefties. They had Verdugo and Grisham on the bench, and then you had Soto. Obviously, I agree. He's probably going to go off because of that short porch. All you have to do is just tap it. It's going to go flying and go over the wall. It's just it's that simple. Like we watched the game in Korea, and how many times he fucking said, "Oh, that would have been a home run in Yankee Stadium." So there's a reason why they have that park. It works in their advantage for the Yankees. So yeah, I got them in second place, but again, it's gonna be a tight-lipped division, really.
It's just so funny that the Yankees have the short porch in right field, yet they always refuse to go out and hit left-handed hitters.
Well, this year, like they got Verdugo and Soto. So yeah, it's interesting.
All right, go ahead.
We all agree on first.
Yeah, we all agree on first.
All right, I got Baltimore finishing first. They're the best team. Getting Corbin Burns, so I love that because getting him out of my division, our division.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting rid of him, Brewers. But yeah, that was a good pickup. They desperately needed another a top of the line starter because they really didn't have much. They got John Means still. He's a solid pitcher. Craig Kimbrell is a solid addition. He's okay, I guess. They have a lot of good young hitting. That's what their strength of their team is. You got freaking Gunnar Henderson still. He's good. Who else? Austin Hayes. Except Mullins. That team's really good hitting wise. This team's really good. I think they're going to be division champions. And yeah.
So yeah. Also in first place, I have the Baltimore Orioles. Very smart decisions, Colby said, to add Corbin Burns. They already had Cal Bradish, who finished fourth in the Cy Young last year. So you have him, Corbin Burns. Grayson Rodriguez's peripherals are indicating that he might have a breakout as well. So, yeah, if you have all those three guys going, you still have John Means, Dean Kramer, and a lot of other pieces in that rotation. They got a lot of depth. Even Tyler Wells, Cole Irvin, Tehran, pretty solid depth in case injuries happen. The bullpen's pretty good. I know it kind of sucks that they're not going to have Felix Bautista in the bullpen, but overall, Craig Kimbrell, Yiner Cano, Dylan Tate, the other guys, it's a pretty good bullpen that they got going for them. But the true story of the team is going to be their offense. Adley's going to go off. Mountcastle, I think, is going to have improvement this season. What is his name? Gunnar Henderson. He's going to build off this year and become even better. Who knows? Jackson Holiday might make the team, or even if he doesn't make it out of spring, he's going to be on the team at some point, definitely before this summer. So I think Jackson Holiday, when he gets to the show, he's going to instantly make an impact. He's been doing it at all levels. His dad was pretty good for the Cardinals. Maybe Jackson will join the Cardinals someday. But for now, I think he's going to mash on the Orioles.
Hopefully soon.
Austin Hayes. They have good outfield. Austin Hayes, pretty solid. You still got a lot of young guys in Heston Kierstad, Colton Cowser, and then you still have Cedric Mullins. Like, that team is very young, is very good. And they still got Anthony Santander, who's also pretty solid. So, yeah, that team is just young, loaded, and they added the second frontline starter that they needed. So, take notes, Cardinals. Be like the Orioles.
I know.
Right.
They were the St. Louis Browns at one point, and right now they were still in St. Louis.
No,
they would be the St.
who would
Louis.
have thought we'd be praising the Orioles and putting the Cardinals down? But yeah, no, I really like this Orioles team. They got really good pitching. They have they just got they got Corbin Burns, who was a Cy Young winner in the National League before and gone from the Brewers. Thank God. He used to own the Cardinals. So I'm so happy he's gone. Kyle Bradish is good. John Means and Grayson Rodriguez, he's not that bad either. Rutschman is a good catcher. Santander, Ryan Mountcastle, Gunnar Henderson. So they have good hitting. They're a nice young team. They won the division last year. They came back out of nowhere and won the division, and I was shocked because I didn't know much about their team. But I was really happy for them because they haven't been good. And the funniest thing is just like no one expected it last year, and they just came out of nowhere. But if you paid attention, you should have seen it. Austin Hayes is good. Cedric Mullins. They just have a really loaded roster in terms of hitting, pitching, and they're just really well rounded, and I think that they will win this division again. But yeah, what do you think, Bondi?
All right, yeah, I got the Orioles. They're just a great team. Ever since they did the renovations to the stadium, they got better pitching. They cheated there. I'm joking. Yeah, again, Corbin Burns for like DL Hall could be a good guy for the Brewers, but I'm going right now with the what you know right now because the Orioles are going to be competing. Bradish is a good number 2, and then Grayson Rodriguez could be a solid number 3. Obviously, he had a rookie year last year. John Means could bounce back to be your number 4. Bullpen, yeah, I'm happy Batista. I'm happy he's out, not because he's hurt, because we don't have to fucking face him. He's a great closer. Now they replaced him with Craig Krimble. But yeah, I got Santander in fantasy. He's a fucking switch hitting beast. I hope Mountcastle sucks, but all I see is he's probably gonna improve, get better. Hayes, Mullins, Henderson, and then you got Rushman. Like they're just stacked. Usually all homegrown guys in their lineup. So they didn't really pay any money for any stars in their lineup. So I think they're gonna be number 1. What happened?
I don't
What
know.
off it, Colby? Your fucking soundboard.
Sure, that was Colby.
All right, so we're done with the AL. Let's go to your league, the NL. Let's start off with the NL. Let's start off with the NL East.
NL East. Okay.
All right, cool.
All right, 5th place. I got the Nationals. They have a really young team. I don't think they're ready at all to compete. I mean, they have some good young prospects coming up, but James Wood, your boy, STL. But yeah, I don't see this team competing. They're just not talented enough yet, and they're a couple years away.
Yeah. As much as I hate to say it, it's going to be the Washington Nationals and last one. That pitching's just not good. The Marlins are depleted in pitching right now, but I can even see them barely finishing ahead of the Nationals because the Nationals, Patrick Corbin's still on your roster. That's a shame. I mean, he should have been the one to quit instead of Strasburg. But you still got Josiah Gray, Mackenzie Gore, who can take some steps forward. But other than that, I'm just not feeling it with their pitching staff. Bullpen, you got some solid pieces like Finnegan and Hunter Harvey and Dylan Floro, another guy the Cardinals should have added. But, overall, nah. The catching, Keibert Ruiz, pretty good offensively, but he's not good defensively. Joey Gallo, he's not going to be that great. I mean, he doesn't even hit 200. I mean, if he hits 200, that's a win. But Luis Garcia is okay. Nick Senzel, yeah. CJ Abrams, I think he's going to have a breakout year, as well as Lane Thomas. I think he's going to build upon last year, but I could even see Lane Thomas eventually being traded, at some point.
I bet Yepes has a good year. Watch.
Yeah, Juan Yepes is about to win MVP for the Nationals.
That'll be funny.
Hit 20 home. You see, he's killing the Cardinals in spring training.
Yeah, he is.
You take that shit personally.
He's a player I like too.
You remember when he first got to Nationals, his dad started complaining on Twitter. He's like, man, hopefully the Nationals give him some playing time that he deserves, unlike the Cardinals.
Not wrong.
I was like, okay. Anyway, you sound like a 12U parent, not like a parent of a MLB player.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, they got some good young pieces like Abrams, but I don't think that'll be till we see their big outfield like Dylan Cruz, James Wood, Hassel, and all the other pieces come up that we really start to see the Nationals kind of like grow as a team. So, yeah, I have them in last. But I just want to say James Wood for MVP. That guy hit over 500 for me in MLB The Show. I love trading for James Wood and MLB The Show rebuild. And if you're ever playing in MLB The Show, James Wood and Jordan Walker go extremely well together.
All right, Amir.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Washington Nationals. I mean, they just do not impress me. They don't have anything that like sticks out that's crazy. Their pitching is terrible. Josiah Gray is their best pitcher. Patrick Corbin, why is he still on a roster? I don't understand. He's so bad. Like, he's terrible. Mackenzie Gore is not that great either. And yeah, I mean, Lane Thomas, he is good, from the Cardinals. Of course, when we trade him away, he turns out to be a pretty good player. So that's a good player. CJ Abrams was all right. And Joey Vanessas, he was okay too. But the Nationals just don't really have much pitching to say oh, they're going to be competitive or anything like that. It just seems like a young rebuilding team. And it's crazy because they won the World Series. Then after that, they just fell apart, and they've been really bad ever since they won that World Series. So that's what you get for sweeping us, all right, in that 2019 National League.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Between them and the Marlins and the Mets, it's just the top two division really, and a bunch of mid. But yeah, I got the Nationals. They're a young team. I think hitting wise, they could develop into good players, but again, they don't have. Mackenzie Gore is not developing good, and then they got that other guy who just has fucking played. I forgot his name.
Irwin?
Cade. I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
Cade
yeah,
Cavalli?
The pitcher.
Cade
Yeah,
Cavalli.
Savali, he doesn't even play. So, again, until they get pitching, I don't think they can go any farther than down. Just bad. Again, James Wood. Shut up, Amir. Dylan Krug could be good. But yeah, the Nationals are last place.
Whatever happened to
I was talking to Colby. What the hell?
Whatever happened to Jackson Rutledge? You remember when he was predicted to be the next Garrett Cole or whatever?
Yeah. I don't know. They just have really. When I look at their pitching, it's even worse than the Oakland A's. At least Oakland A's have people.
Let's make James Wood their pitcher.
James Wood, two-way player.
All right, in fourth place, I got the New York Mets. This team is just not good. Their pitching their rotation is really bad. Ever since losing Scherzer and Verlander last year, oh my god, this rotation is really bad. I mean, they still have Edwin Diaz. He's good, but that's in the bullpen. But their rotation is really bad. Looking at it, Like they got Mania, like come on, he sucks, and Adrian Hauser, like this rotation's not good. They got our boy Jose Quintana. I think he's the open day starter, which we'll see what he does. He got hurt. He got hurt last year, but their offense is okay. You know, they still have Alonso. This could potentially be his last year because he's a free agent next year. You know, Lindor, okay, good player. Um, they got that bum ass Harrison Bader. It's freaking strikeout machine over there. Someone above me likes Harrison Bader, so yeah, you know.
Oh my god.
They still got Marte and Nemo. They're good outfielders, but this team is just they're going like in a retool year. Like they're not going to be going anywhere like this year. Mets.
If personally in fourth right now, I have the Miami Marlins. And it's not just because of their roster and their lack of moves this offseason, but that is a factor. It's because their pitching is just depleted right now. Like, I think AJ Pook is being listed as a starter this year, and that's not good because they lost Alcantara, they lost Yuri Perez. I think Trevor Rogers and Edward Cabrera are all going to be injured this season. So like at the start, so without those four guys, that's that team was built on its great pitching, great young pitching, and now they don't have that. They don't have the Cy Young winner. They don't have the 20-year-old freak of nature pitcher. They don't have Cabrera and Rogers. Like they still have Luzardo, and they still got like Ryan Weathers, but you know who's the other guy that was injured? I think was it Braxton Garrett's injured too, right?
Yeah.
So
AJ Pluck pitch starting is weird.
yeah, like AJ Puck was supposed to be a reliever. So yeah, they just depleted of pitching. It's so bad. Bullpen's okay, but they could have improved on that. Um, Obviously, you got a guy like Tanner Scott in there, who's Anthony Bender, pretty solid bullpen arms, pretty good. Um, Offensively, I think they're going to be okay. Luis Arias, Jazz Chisholm, I think are going to have some good years. I could see Jesus Sanchez taking a big step forward, maybe even Brian De La Cruz, but I'm pretty high on Jesus Sanchez. I think he's going to be pretty good. Josh Bell will be solid as per usual. Christian Betancourt, Nick Fortes at catcher. We'll see how that goes. And even Tim Anderson, the self-proclaimed Jackie Robinson of today, um, even though he likes to compare himself and say he's just as good as Jackie Robinson, and I hope he fails for that because you're not Jackie, buddy. I think he's going to have a pretty solid year offensively. I think he's going to bounce back into the contact hitter that we know he is. Not much power, but I can see him hitting for a good average. So, yeah, Marlins just not good at all, and the fact that they lost so much pitching, they're going to be fourth place for me.
All right, Amir.
Yeah, I have the New York Mets in fourth place. I just don't. I agree with Colby. I just don't think they're very good, and their lack of moves is like, what the hell? And they like even when they had Scherzer and Verlander, they just lost them to other teams. So I just don't think they're going to be that good. Their pitching is just don't even understand it. Like Kota Singa, they picked up Severino. Like that's supposed to be a big move. Like that's not great either. I don't. Jose Quintana is like okay, like like we
Cardinal legend.
Cardinals fans, we just really want pitchers, so we're like Jose Quintana, he's so amazing, but he's not that good anymore. Edwin Diaz is really good, I will say that. Pete Alonso is really good. Francisco Lindor, they do have some pieces on the offense, but I just think they're going to struggle. They finished fourth last year, and St. Louis Cards coverage almost had me going with the Marlins, but I just think the Mets will be a little worse than them.
All right, I got to go with
Fair
Mr. Card coverage.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Marlins in
The
fourth.
glazing.
Glazing's crazy.
There's no glazing. Just the lack of moves. Like they did nothing. They lost Soler. That's another big power bat. Um, it's just, and then like again with the injuries to the pitching, it just they have like no power at all. I like Arise. The guy's gonna probably win another batting title. You fuck every time there you see him, it's like 4 for 4 with 4 singles. I think Jazz Chisholm's gonna get hurt again. I just can't trust Jazz Chisholm at all. De La Cruz could have a bounce back. I mean, not bounce back, a breakout. And I just don't see their team doing anything really. So I think they're in fourth place. I know they made the playoffs last year, but I think they kind of overachieved.
Oh,
Colby.
am I up? Am I up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right. Well, I got the Marlins in third. Yeah, they have obviously losing Sandy. How long is he gonna be out? Like 2 months, or a couple months, probably.
Wasn't the whole
He's on
year?
a 60-day IL.
Isn't the whole year? Because he had
No.
Tommy John.
I thought he was out for 60 days, they
It
said.
says 60 IL. I don't know what it.
It's a
Yeah,
60 IL, so I don't know. He might
maybe
be.
he might miss the whole year. Honestly, if they're bad, he might even come back. But yeah, they still have Lazario. He's a good pitcher. I do agree. Like they should have made way more moves. Like they made like minor moves. Like Tim Anderson. Like you said, it's okay. They got. I think they get Jake. That was last year, but they got Jake Berger. He was like, he's okay. He was okay with the White Sox. But yeah, they still have Jazz. But as Vincenzo said, he gets hurt a lot. Yeah, Josh Bell, solid bat. But yeah, this team is just in the middle. Like they lost Soler. That was a huge loss because he had like 30 home runs last year. But yeah, I got the Marlins in third.
Oh, I actually found out Sandy is not pitching this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's out. Yuri Perez maybe, but not Sandy.
Mhm.
Am I up?
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah.
All right. So in third place, I have New York Mets. So opposite to Colby and Sports Critic, I have the Mets in third. So the Mets, as they said before, just pitching not good. They weren't even that great with Scherzer and Verlander, but Kodai Senga's pretty good pitcher. Quintana's okay, but he's getting older. Severino, I mean, a little bit old. He's overrated at this point. I mean, come on. He had a 6 ERA in the regular season. Like, not even Cal Gibson was that bad. So, anyways, I feel like I've just been picking on Cal Gibson this whole live stream,
This is fine.
but Tyler McGill, I mean John Mania, I didn't realize Tyler McGill was 6'7". Dang. But still, despite that, no, he's not some guy I'd be relying on. I mean, Edwin Diaz being back is going to be a big help. They still got Adam Ottavino, Brooks Raley, Phil Bickford, and a lot of other good pieces in the bullpen. But the offense, I think, is going to have a good step forward. And like I said, what was going to happen to Juan Soto with the Yankees, where he has his breakout, his best season of his career going into free agency, I can see the same happening with Pete Alonso. I can see Jeff McNeil bouncing back this year. Not as great last year, but I can see Jeff McNeil bouncing back this year and being a great hitter. Maybe Brandon Nemo's pretty good. Starling Marte, can he stay healthy? Mark Vientos hasn't done anything. Brett Beatty's had a pretty solid spring, so we'll see. But Alvarez, of course, he's probably going to hit like 35, 40 home runs. And Harrison Bader's just a bum. I mean, he's overpaid. This dude was like cut from the Yankees in mid-August or like something like that. Like, I don't know why he was paid $10 million. Like, was that just Steve Cohen flashing his money? But seriously, the Mets aren't good. I want to spend more time roasting Harrison Bader and how bad of a player he is, but we got to move on. So, Harrison Bader and the Mets, third place.
Mearshaw.
I like you put Harrison Bader and Mets. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's the Miami Marlins in third place. Cards coverage put up a lot of good points that they have pitchers that are injured and they're gonna struggle, but I just think that they'll do a little better than the Mets. I think Jesus Lazardo will still do enough to get them. In the pitching department, they have Perez, who will eventually come back, hopefully, and they have De La Cruz, who played well. Josh Bell, he can be all right. Luis Arias, I mean, he's one of the best hitters in baseball just for contact hitting. So I think they'll still have enough to be third. They got Tim Anderson. I don't know how he's going to be because he's been awful last year, but then again, he was on the White Sox and he was just unmotivated, I think. And we'll see
Mhm.
if he can be a big piece for them. I agree they should have done more. They should have gotten more hitting and more pitching, knowing all the injuries and everything that's they're dealing with. But Miami's not a big baseball city. But I do like Skip Schumacher, and I think he'll get them to third.
Yeah,
All right.
Skip Go. I wish we had him over Marmol.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he would have been way better.
The
He got
Cardinals
he
don't
got that
know how to
Marlins
make.
team last year to the playoffs. All right. So, anyways, yeah, I got the Mets in third. They just signed JD Martinez, so doesn't really change my opinion. Their rotation is god awful. Cody Singa and Jose Quintana are going to be carrying. Luis Severino is just a bum at the end of the day. Sean Manaea is mid. Um, I do like their hitting, especially they added JD Martinez, a good DH. P. Alonso again. This is a contract year. Um, they got a new manager, Mendoza too. So like they got rid of Buck. So I just think obviously the top two in the division are gonna just well, it's gonna be between them. It's not even gonna be close. But the Mets are gonna be middle of the pack. I think because of their offense, they'll be middle of the pack, but they'll be sellers at the deadline. I got the Mets in third.
All right. So second, this is kind of tough because the top two teams, like we said, are really good. But I have the Braves finishing second. I still don't mean that. I still think they're a good team just because I have them second. But yeah, they get their rotation's good. Freed. I have him in fantasy. I hope he has a good year. Spencer Strider. Charlie Morton's always like reliable. He's a good, like a number 3 or 4 guy in rotation. They added Chris Sale. We'll see if he can stay healthy for once because he's made of glass. But he could be good at the Braves because Braves are pretty good at pitching too. Um, their offense is really good. Murphy, Olson, all these and they obviously got what's his name? Oh my God,
Dunya?
Acuna. I had a brain freeze, but yeah. And what's his name? Marcelo Zuna. He had a really good year last year with them, so we'll see if he can keep. I don't really like him as a person, but he had a good year. But yeah, I think Braves are second, and this is gonna be a dogfight for the top two.
Yeah, I also see a dogfight in the top two. I think both teams are actually pretty stacked. But I have the Phillies finishing in second once again. Maybe they'll win out in the playoffs for a third straight year and beat the Braves. I love when the Braves do terribly. Their fans are some of the worst in baseball. And
Oh
that's
yeah, I don't
coming.
like the Braves fans either. Yeah,
Yeah, I live in Florida. Braves fans are just a bunch
I
of
live in
stupid
Florida too.
bandwagons.
Let's go.
Yeah, Braves fans, just a bunch of bandwagons. They're idiotic, moronic, have terrible baseball takes. But despite that, I have the Phillies finishing in second. Um, Great rotation: Wheeler, Nola, Suarez. But they were trying to add Yamamoto, even Blake Snell, but they didn't do either this offseason. So I don't think they closed that gap to the Braves just yet. The bullpen's still very good. Alvarado, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Gregory Soto, as among other pieces. Matt Strom, pretty good bullpen. Um, Offensively, they're very good from Romuto, Harper, Stott, um, Bone, Turner, Marsh. Like they got a Schwarber. They have a very good offense, but I don't know, man. I just think that if they had added like Yamamoto or even Blake Snell, they might have had the chance at trumping the Braves. But I think the Braves are going to survive over the coast of a regular season, and the Phillies are going to be second.
Amir?
Yeah, I agree. Phillies are going to be second. I agree with you. St. Louis Cards coverage. I like their pitching. I think their pitching is good. Zach Wheeler is good. They brought back Aaron Nola. I think Aaron Nola pitched all right last year.
You should have been a Cardinal.
Yeah.
Ranger Suarez. Ranger Suarez is not a bad number 3. I would take him on the Cardinals over the guys that we got. They got Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto. They have a lot of good hitters. Like Alec Baum was starting to play well. Trey Turner wasn't like they have some hitters, and They have Castellanos, who can be okay, and Schwarber. He sucks, but he's home run or bust. Like his average is so bad. I really don't like him, but like when he does hit a home run, that is positive impact, I guess. But he just strikes out too much for me to like him, and I just think this division is between the Phillies and the Braves. I think the Phillies will finish number two, but I could see the Braves doing that. I just think that the Phillies always do this where they finish like number two and make like the wild card and then make like a run, and they're pretty good at that. So I think they'll finish second.
Yeah, I agree with Amir. I think and Cardinals coverage. Wow, Colby's so shocked.
I'm
Colby's
kidding.
hot takes right there. I
It's
got the
okay to have
Phillies.
different. Yeah.
I got the Phillies in second place. Again, let's go with the Schwarber. Schwarber's a leadoff hitter too, which is funny. He bats 1-2-90. But again, if he hits home runs, it's all good. Like the guy can fucking mash. But again, he strikes out a lot. Yeah, they locked up the guys. Jack Wheeler locked up. Nola locked up. Suarez. They got my boy Dejan Walker, another good depth rotation guy. Bullpen solid. They can fucking hit, man. Harper, he's gonna be playing first base this year permanently. Marsh, Bohm, Castellanos, Turner, etc. Stott. I just think they're not good enough to finish ahead of the Braves, but they're good enough to do something in the playoffs. So yeah.
Yeah. For me, I got the Phillies a little different for you guys, but that 1-2 punch is really good. It's good that they brought back both of them because Wheeler's gonna be a free agent next year, but they resigned him already. So yeah, they have like one of the best 1-2 punches I feel like in the rotation. After that, it's a lot of younger guys like you said, Suarez, Walker. He's a good veteran. Their offense is what's really getting me excited about them because like they can hit like you said like 1 through 9. Like pretty much all their hitters are pretty damn good. Like maybe you can find like a couple of them that are not that good, but they even added your boy on Witt. He could be a good bench bat, Bondi. But yeah, I like that offense a lot. I think that offense is really going to help them, and I like that 1-2 punch of theirs. So I'm going to go with the Phillies to win the division. And I know it's the playoffs, but they do own the Braves lately. So
All right, I got one more thing about the Phillies. They also have your boy Armando Sosa,
yeah, Sosa.
Oh
Go.
my god!
Yeah.
which is low Sosa.
Hey, but Romero's doing good for us, so
Yeah,
playing.
Kind of a fair trade, kind of.
Yeah.
At
So
least we get fleeced.
yeah. See, it's not the Rays, so we didn't get fleeced. But hey, at least we got Heim Bloom though, because Heim Bloom was a Ray, and now maybe we'll do the fleecing now. But on to who I think will win the NL East. I think it's the Atlanta Braves. I think they're going to go off again, win 100+ games, and win the division, and then just blow it in the playoffs as they usually do. But who knows about the playoffs? But they got really good pitching. Spencer Strider. This is Max Fried's walk year. He's not crazy enough to sign that cheap 5-year, $10 million and Alex Anthopoulos extension.
Cardinal. Next year, I wish. But...
Now we'll probably end up signing like some old, like what's his name, Jesse Sanchez,
or we'll get Scherzer when he's 40. Scherzer when he's 40.
Chavez.
Yeah, Jesse Chavez. Yeah, or Scherzer's.
They
wanted to be here. They want to be here. But anyways, yeah, Max Fried is his walk year. I can see him going off and being at the level of Spencer Strider once again. Charlie Morton, as Colby said, just always reliable. Chris Sale, if he can stay healthy, he's also going to be a very reliable starter for them, as well as Reynaldo Lopez. I'm a little bit questionable on that, but who knows? The Giants are trying to make it work with Jordan Hicks. The Braves are trying to make it work with Reynaldo Lopez. And the Marlins are trying to make it work with A.J. Puck. So we'll see how it goes. They still get A.J. Smith-Shawver in the farm. They have a great bullpen from Iglesias, Mentor, Joe Jimenez, Aaron Bummer, Mastek, and among others. So great there. Their offense, though, is going to be extremely fun to watch this year. I can see Acuna he can go back-to-back in MVP or be right up there in the contention. Matt Olson's going to have another great year. Sean Murphy kind of fell off in the second half of last year, but I think he's going to have a pretty good year stable wise, and Darno's not bad either. Albies and Riley, I can see also doing well, and Ozuna, Michael Harris having a big year 3 in the major. So, yeah, I think that they still got Ozuna as well, former Cardinal.
Oh my God, let's not talk about Ozuna.
Ozuna, Ozuna famous for like jumping on the wall only to miss the ball in the outfield.
That was
But
funny.
anyways, Braves, I have them in first.
All right, Amir.
Yeah, I have the Braves in first place, and I think they're one of the best teams in the NL. Actually, they have really good pitching: Max Fried, Spencer Strider, and Bryce Elder was pitching all right. I mean, he's not the best, but he was doing good. Their hitting is really stacked. This is just like crazy how they have all these hitters. How is this even allowed for a baseball team? Ronald Acuna Jr., they have him. They have Sean Murphy and Travis d'Arnaud. They have Matt Olson, who was great last year. Austin Riley, like their hitting is just so good. Ozzy Albies is pretty good. Like they just don't have a weakness when Michael Harris, like their hitting is so insane. And I'm not gonna mention Ozuna because I don't like him, but like if that's your worst like hitter, like come on. They just have so much depth when it comes to hitting. Their starting pitching is good and their bullpen's decent. So I think they have a chance. Like if it was Dodgers and Braves, they have a chance of beating the Dodgers. They're just so stacked offensively, and their pitching is pretty good. I think that they could finish with either the first or second best record in the National League. I don't like the Braves. I live in Florida, and their fans talk a lot, but I got to give them credit. They really built a great team.
Yeah, so I think the Braves are winning this division. I thought that was a good like sneaky trade. If Chris Sale turns out to be a 3 ERA guy, like at least half the way he was, that'll be a good idea. Again, with Max Fried, he's a free agent. Strider, he had a good season last year with a lot of strikeouts, and then their fucking lineup, it's insane. 1 through 5, 1 through 9, I meant, is great. I wish we kept Alex Anthopoulos, but no, we had to get these two fucking losers in our front office. And Anthopoulos just, I don't know what he does to these agents of these young players, man. Austin Riley got locked up, Acuna, fucking Michael Harris. He just like, I don't know. He's just the ultimate fleecer. Alex Anthopoulos is the fleecer. And I got the Braves finishing in first. They have to win the World Series, man. It's World Series and bust for teams like the Dodgers and Braves. So I got the Braves finishing in first.
All right,
I
so
know,
we're gonna
like
do
it's
go ahead.
the
Go ahead.
Braves are like resembling their '90s level dominance, but they can't get anything
Yeah,
done
they
in the
can't win
playoffs.
anything. They won the one World Series, and after that, they just keep choking in the playoffs.
To the Phillies.
They are a really dominant team.
They just choke. They choke to the Phillies. They're gonna lose to the Phillies again, don't they?
I have two nicknames for their first baseman: Freddie the Fraud and Mark Ice Coldson.
Wow.
Ready the fraud.
All right, so we're gonna do the NL West now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
West side.
Let's go.
All right, fifth place, I have the
Alright.
Rockies. No surprise. I mean, they have a couple of Cardinal legends. You know, Austin Gomber, Dakota Hudson.
You see,
And they-
Gomber's having a baby.
Yeah, and they got Amir's boy Cal. You know,
Cal Quantrill.
he's gonna get lit up probably in that stadium. Yeah, I mean this team's is not good, man. McMahon's like solid player. Rogers is okay. Chris Bryant, not I don't know why he went there. He kind of just ruined his career. And Charlie Blackmon's like 65 years old. I mean, I don't know. This team's so bad. Like I feel bad for Rocky fans. I'm glad I'm not a Rockies fan. Yeah, they're fifth place.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So in fifth place, I have the Denver Nuggets. I mean, Colorado finishing last place, behind the Lakers. I mean the Dodgers. Yeah, this Nuggets roster is not very good. I'm just kidding. The Rockies roster, Nuggets are pretty good, but the Rockies, they got Gomber, they have Dakota Hudson. I mean, you know, if Trevor Bauer gets back to the MLB, I hope it's with the Rockies so that he sucks and his career's over very soon. So Herman Marquez, he's going to be injured. Isn't he on the IL?
Yeah, I think
Right.
so.
Probably.
So yeah, they don't have him right now. Quantrill, Freeland, I don't know. That rotation is just kind of shaky in its cores. So bullpen again, very shaky. Don't need to go over that. It's just Coors Field. I don't think it's going to be that great. Offensively though, Chris Bryant not so good. Brendan Rodgers solid. Ryan McMahon pretty underrated, but I don't think he and it's going to be enough. You know what I mean? Like Blackman, they have Nolan Jones in the outfield, who had a surprise breakout year. That was dumb by the Guardians to get rid of Nolan Jones so quickly. But yeah, I just don't see it with this team. But hey, they also have Cardinal legend Luis Montero.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they do.
remember when people thought Montero was going to be like the best hitter and we're going to regret trading him so much?
Yeah.
All right, Amir.
Yeah, this is a team, Colorado Rockies. We fleeced them for Nolan Arenado. And that's why they have Austin Gomber, who sucks. I don't think he's that good. Kyle Freeland, he's okay. He's probably their best pitcher. It's hard to pitch in Coors Field, so cut the pitchers some slack. All right, Cal Quantrill, I'll miss him, but he's not going to be good there. I really think like he went to the worst team possible.
Where'd Colby go?
I don't know. He left.
They don't have hitting either that's so great, like Chris Bryant, like he can't even stay healthy. Brandon Rogers is okay. Ryan McMahon, like you said, cards coverage, he's decent. Um, Charlie Blackman, he always has like a decent season, but like the Rockies are going to be one of the worst teams. They're okay at home. They're better at home, but they're still going to be one of the worst teams in the National League, and especially in the National League West. It's just a really tough division too. So
Where'd Colby go?
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea. I didn't kick him or anything. I don't know. Probably the Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. Hopefully he comes back. I don't know. I'll give him a whatever. But
He
yeah,
had that like livid look on his face. You see that?
I don't know. Did someone walk in? I don't know. All he had to do was just go backstage or mute himself and whatever. But yeah, anyways, yeah, the Rockies are finishing in last place. They're a disgrace for the baseball team. The Monfords are terrible ownership group. Um, I like Nolan Jones. I like McMahon. Lawrence is a good bullpen arm. Justin Lawrence, he's a filthy closer. Um, but again, they just have no pitching, and in Coors Field, they get lit up. They get like it's like a shootout every game, really. The ball elevates, and now in this division with the Dodgers, the Padres are better. The Giants got better. The Diamondbacks got better. It's just they're last place. They're gonna be the whooping boys. I don't know where Colby is.
Yeah, what are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do? Because Colby was supposed to be like the main
Yeah, he
play.
started first.
I gotta text him right now.
Are we gonna should we
I
continue?
can pause it.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, you
I'll
can
pause.
start it again.
Resume.
No.
We're resuming.
We had some
Had a
technical
little break,
difficulties, ladies.
Cell phone
Somebody
malfunction.
hacked Colby.
All right,
Yeah.
fourth place in the NL West, I have the Padres. They lost Soto, they lost Blake Snell, but I still think they have a solid team. Like, this division's really tough. Darvish is good still. Joe Musgrove's pretty decent. They got Dylan Cease. We'll see what he does there. I know Amir thinks he's gonna be ruined there, but we'll see what Dylan Cease does in San Diego. Michael King was part of that trade from the Yankees. We'll see what he does. Probably either good prospect from last year. Their offense is pretty solid too. Cronenworth, yesterday me and Bondi were watching it. He went 4-4.
We were in the clone zone.
Cronenworth's pretty good. Kim's a good guy to have too. Tyler Wade's a good veteran. Machado, you still have Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts, he kind of had a down year, but we'll see if he can have a bounce back. I don't know why they gave him 11 years. That's crazy. Not worth that at all. But yeah, Tatis obviously. And I even said to Bondi, I said they should have kept Soto over Tatis, but yeah, I got the Padres in fourth.
Yeah, they were not gonna do that.
So for me, this might be against what most people think, but I have the Giants in fourth. But not by much. But here's why. Like, I know they got a very good rotation. Like they have Logan Webb, Blake Snell, Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's going to be injured, but they have Cal Harrison, Jordan Hicks, and what's his name, Keaton Wynn, right?
Yeah.
They got a pretty
Jordan
solid
Hicks.
rotation. They have Camilo Duvall and the Rogers twins and the bullpen, as well as that 6'11" guy. What's his name? But I think like Hagel. But I don't know, man. The Giants, it just seemed like they just like went on fantasy mode and franchise mode on MLB The Show and just like, let's just sign this random assortment of free agents and see how it works. Like, I don't know, man. It just seemed like there was no order to this. Like they just like, they're available, we'll sign him. He's available, we'll sign him. He's available, we'll sign him. Like, you know what I mean? They get Chapman, Soler, they got Snell. I think it was pretty good, but there's a reason a lot of teams didn't want to take those chances on those players. So I don't think it's going to all be smooth sailing for the Giants. I still think they'll be solid. I really like the addition of Jung-Hoo Lee and Soler to an extent, but I don't know. Chapman, Snell, it just felt like they were just spending because they couldn't get Judge, Correa, Harper, anyone. They just were like, we have to get someone. So, yeah, I'm just not feeling it for the Giants.
They did what the Blue Jays should have done. All right, Amir.
I'm going to go with what Colby said. I'm going to go with the Padres. I have the Padres because they just always struggle. Like they could have so much talent and they still don't. And they actually lost talent. Like they lost Blake Snell, who was a Cy Young winner. Like, and they also lost Juan Soto, who was a great hitter for them. And their pitching isn't that great because it can't also their pitchers can never stay healthy. You Darvish and Musgrove are decent pitchers. They're pretty good, but they can't stay healthy. Like last year I had them, and I know they got Dylan Cease, and I think he'll be okay there. But every time Padres like trade for a pitcher or whatever, it doesn't. I don't know. They ruin a lot of guys. I'm not saying that that's necessarily going to happen with him, but it could, and I wouldn't be surprised. Jake Cronenworth is good. Tatis and Manny Machado. They do have good hitters. Hassan Kim is all right too. Um, so I think it's just that this division is tough. In another division, they could have possibly been third or even second, but this division is really tough. I like other teams more, um, but and I think that the Giants getting Blake Snell made me move them a little higher because I was with you, St. Louis Cardinals coverage. It was like between these two teams. But the fact that they got Snell, I think that will really help them. He's going to probably start off a little slow because he got signed so late. But I think, Snell is he's always been a great pitcher. He's won Cy Young twice, once in the AL, once in the NL. So, yeah, I think the Padres, I agree with Colby. I think they're going to finish fourth.
Yeah, I got the Padres. AJ Preller should be tried on trial for war crimes. He's a terrible fucking manager. GM, I meant. He let Bob Melvin go for Mike Schilt.
Oh yeah, they got Mike Schilt.
So that's gonna be another thing. Like I know they're 1-1 right now, but still beginning of the season. Tatis, he's a fucking he's a head case, but he's a good player. Machado overpaid, but like they have a lot of good players. It just I just think this is the year where EJ Preller gets damn fired, man, for all this reckless spending and farm mismanagement. I'm not saying they have a talented roster, but they need a GM that knows what the fuck he's doing. I think Darvish is obviously way too old. He's on the decline, and didn't he get an extension last year?
Yeah.
So like that was a good
6 year
move.
extension.
That was bad. But I like Cease. He's on my fantasy team, and Kim too, fantasy guys. So I hope they're doing good, personally, and have a good season. But yeah, I got him in fourth, man. I think the Giants made a lot of moves, and they got the better manager. Ooh, all right, next.
Third place, they got the Giants. Like you said, they got an upgrade from their manager, Bob Melvin. The Padres just let him go to the rivals for some reason. I'm like, what the hell? But yeah. They improved a lot this offseason. They have a good 1-2 punch in that rotation. Snell and Webb. I don't know why they think Jordan Hicks is a starter because us Cardinal fans know how he is. Like he's terrible as a starter. His commands are horrible. Alex Cobb, he's a solid arm. But their hitting, they improved their hitting because their offense was kind of Mickey mid last year, kind of. They still have Wade Jr. He's okay. Chapman was a pretty good pickup, even though Chapman declined like $200 million from the Blue Jays and ended up selling for
fucking
way
idiot.
less.
I can't.
Chapman, they added Chapman. I think Soler was a good pickup too. That was really good. And obviously, as you said, Lee was a good move they made. Yeah, they made some good moves. Like they're trying to compete in a division, which I give them credit to because like seems like the Cardinals don't try to compete in one of the worst divisions. Like it's just it's a headache.
Cardinals
But yeah,
were
I think the
22.
Giants are gonna have they'll be in the contention for the wild card. They might miss it, but I think they'll be a good team.
So in third place, which I have the San Diego Padres, and look, I don't think they're going to be marginally better. I don't think they're going to be like a gap better than the Giants, but I think they'll barely edge them out just because I think they have something to prove this year. Like they lost Juan Soto, they lost, Snell, they lost Josh Hader, but I still think they have a pretty good team on their hands. Like Darvish, Musgrove, who knows? I think that at least one of those two guys is bound to have a good year this year, though. Dylan Cease was a good pickup, and if he goes back to what he did in 2022, that's going to be huge. They still have Michael King from the Juan Soto trade, good young pitcher. They also have Johnny Brito and Randy Vasquez among some others. So I think their rotation's overall pretty solid. Not as good as it once was, but I do think that they will still have a pretty good rotation. Bullpen, Yuki Matsui was a smart addition for them. They also got Inyo de los Santos among some other pieces. They have Adrian Morihan, Robert Suarez, Tom Crossgrove, Johnny Brito. They have a pretty solid bullpen overall. Offense, you still get Bogarts, who I think going to have some sort of a bounce back. Machado bound for a bounce back as well, because you got to remember this year he wasn't performing up to his par. Ha-Seong Kim, always a solid contributor for that roster. Who else have I mentioned? Tatis, you still have him. I think Tatis is really going to bounce back as a hitter this year and really show show the world just how good he is, and that no, the steroids weren't helping him. Got Jackson Merrill in center field. I'm excited to see how that'll play out for them. So yeah, Campusano, Cal Higashioka at catcher. Obviously, Ethan Salas is skyrocketing up the minor leagues, so who knows how long that lasts. But yeah, I think the Padres' experience, just play a factor in them barely edging out the Giants. So I have them in third.
All right, Amir.
All right, yeah, I like that the Giants got Bob Melvin and the Padres. I didn't even talk about this. Got Mike Schilt. I don't know what they were thinking, but I guess that's what they thought was best. But I think the Giants will finish third. I like what they did this offseason. They got a bit of pitching and a bit of hitting. I wish they got more in the hitting department, but I do like, of course, Blake Snell, Logan Webb. Robbie Ray is not that great, but if he can come back and pitch like even close to what he did in Toronto, he could be decent for like a number 3 guy.
Blue Jay legend.
Yeah. Also, Alex Cobb, I didn't even mention him. And the one thing I don't agree with is Hicks. Get him out of your starting rotation. He's not a starter. Please put him in the bullpen. Like, that's where he will do good. He'll do all right. He'll be a good setup guy. Duvall is a really good closer. I like him. I think he'll be good. They're hitting. I like Soler. I thought Soler was such a good move, and I wish the Cardinals would have gotten him. Honestly, that was one of the guys I wanted. Jung Ho Lee was a good pickup also, so I like that for hitting as well. So they have Lamonte Wade. They have some nice pieces. They just I don't understand the Chapman. I don't get that. I don't think he's that great, but he's okay. He's not like terrible. So they
So you're
did
saying
all
mid?
right. They did a lot better than I thought they were gonna do this offseason. Because when they got Snell, it really surprised me. I thought it was gonna be like another team, but like the Yankees or something. But it was the Giants, and I think that's puts me just a little bit above the Padres in this really tough division.
All right, yeah, I agree with Amir when it comes to Jordan Hicks. I don't know what the fuck he's doing
Yeah.
in the starting rotation. Um, they're doing another little experiment, which I don't like. They're doing because they got good rotation. I don't know why they trade away Stripling. They could have just had him in the bottom rotation. But I don't know. But I like the rotation. I like Snell. I like Logan Webb, and then Kyle Harrison's a nice young piece coming up. Hitting wise, they added a lot. They added Soler, which I wanted with the Jays. They had Holy, which I wanted with the Jays. They added Chapman, which I didn't want with the Jays. But Chapman came back to Bob Melvin. You know, they both came back to the Bay, so it makes sense getting Chapman because he knows Bob Melvin. I think the Giants, they're going to be a competitive team. They're going to be in some tough games, but I don't think they're a playoff team. This is a transition year, but I think they're gonna play really good baseball, and I like Holy. I think he's gonna be like a 300 guy, not that many home runs, but he's just an old school hitter in my opinion.
I think we're all in agreement that Jordan Hicks should not be in the
Yeah, he should
I think
not be a
It's a
starter.
consensus. Don't worry.
I mean, watch him do good in the rotation.
I don't see
mean,
it.
the Cardinals
He just doesn't have the arm to go long because he throws too hard and then he's
He's
tired.
not the good locate. He has good velocity, but the location
Location is off
his
for
it's
him.
not good for
control is-
multiple innings. Like he has
He
to
throws a
one or
lot
two.
of balls too. So
Yeah.
Like, do the Giants not realize that you have to have control to throw 5-6 innings?
yeah.
Like that stuff Hicks does only works
Yeah,
for
they might-
one inning.
Pete Walker can't make him a fucking starter. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Watch them do it in the Cardinals. Just anyway.
No, St. Louis. No.
All right, second place.
Second place. Cole.
Second place, I get the D-backs. I thought they had a pretty good offseason. They got our boy Zach Gallen. You know, he's good. They got the Rodriguez from the Tigers. I thought that was a good pickup for the rotation. I like the rotation's pretty solid. You know, they got some young guys in there too. Obviously they fleeced the Jays with that trade. They got two good bats out of that trade. They got Gabriel Romano, then they got freaking Gurriel Jr. That was two good pickups from that trade. I don't know why you guys got fleeced for Varsho. Varsho is not that good. Had to call you out for that BS. Christian Walker's good. Marte's good. And they got Suarez. That was a good pickup. Yeah, and then they also got Jock Peterson. He could be a good bat. He's been switched. He's been passed around like a blunt in that division.
Yeah.
It's the Cardinals.
He's gonna be a Padre next year.
And also, they have Carroll still too. Corbin Carroll. They have
Yeah.
a really good team. Like I love that team.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I don't see them passing the Dodgers, but I hope they do. But
yeah, I think all of baseball wishes that someone beat the Dodgers in the division. They just randomly have a 2021 Giants year and just destroy the Dodgers. But yeah, I have the D-backs in second. They're a very good team, well constructed, and if they were in the NL in any other division but the NL West or the NL East, probably, I think they would win the division because they have a very good rotation. Gallen, Kelly, they added Erod. They still got Brandon Pfaadt, who's a young starter. I know he kind of struggled this year, but he was kind of reliable in the playoffs, and I think he's going to have an improvement this year. Their bullpen was very good. Sewald, Kevin Ginkel, Mantonplea, Miguel Castro needs to get better, but, they have a pretty solid bullpen on their hands, especially Kevin Ginkel, Paul Sewald, Mantonplea. Those three guys were carrying the bullpen throughout the playoffs. Offensively, they're pretty good. Gabriel Marino, a very great young catcher. That was a fleece. You gave up Varsho. You gave up Marino for Varsho. That was just a stupid trade. You still have Christian Walker, who's actually, again, he had a great year last year. This is his walk year, so who knows what he's gonna do this year. Ketel Marte, he had his his best season since that fluke 2019 with the juice balls. Eugenio Suarez was a good addition at third base. I like that a lot. They really need a third baseman. We go out getting that Carpenter as an insurance. But anyway,
I'd
we
rather have had
Arenado.
fucking Longoria than Carpenter, like backup. They should have signed
Like-
Longoria, but no, Carpenter.
Exactly. Like, I know we have Arenado, but if you want insurance, and anyways, I'll continue on. You still got Gurriel. You have Jock Peterson. You even added Randall Grichuk. That was a great platoon, like Grichuk and Peterson as your like left field DH platoon. That's going to be pretty good. You have Corbin Carroll, who's probably going to have a even better year next year somehow. And the farm, as shortstop, Perdomo's pretty solid, but then, who knows? Jordan Lawler might come up at some point in the season and do well as well. So, yeah, Diamondbacks, very good team. Second place for me. And I think my hot take is that they win 95 games.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I have the Diamondbacks number 2. If the Dodgers didn't have such a spending spree, I would have definitely had them number 1. I mean, they're a really good team. They're really young too. Zach Gallen, Morel Kelly, and then they got Eduardo. That was like a pickup that was really good that not many people really talked about. Seawold is a decent closer, good bullpen arm. They got Man Supply, who was all right too. Marino he's a decent catcher. Christian Walker, I like. Corbin Carroll, he played really well last year. And, he could get even better, which is scary because he just was so amazing for the Diamondbacks. Ketel Marte had a good year. So they have good hitting, good pitching. Gurriel played great. I still don't know why you got rid of him, Bondi. like totally, and they said they fleeced you guys in the.
I get it.
I never liked Varsho, but yeah, Diamondbacks are going to be really good. I'm not going to. Yeah, I just think they're going to be really good. The Dodgers did too much for me to ignore, but I really hope somehow they could win this division. But I think they'll be so close, and they'll be in second place.
All right, yeah, I get it. We got fleeced. Varsho can still have a good season, but yeah, we got fleeced overall. I think they got better talent for one guy. But yeah, Diamondbacks, they're NL champions for a reason. They made a big run. They beat the Phillies last year. They beat the damn Dodgers in the playoffs. I love their offseason. Rodriguez, they needed a number 2 next to Gallen. They have a 3-headed monster in Kelly, Gallen, and Rodriguez. Gallen, the Cardinal legend. I didn't know they got Randall Grichuk, so Cardinal Blue Jay legend. Suarez, it was a good trade. I think they didn't give up anything, and you get a power bat. They had to replace Longoria. They wanted a younger power bat. Corbin Carroll could be an MVP candidate this year. Sneaky MVP candidate. But yeah, I just think they can't. I don't know. If they win the division, I'll be really happy. But I think come playoff time, we'll see if they can beat the Dodgers. But in the regular season, I think they'll be the second.
I have a question, Bonnie. So you said that, what's his name? Varsho can still be good. He has a 2.9. He has a 229 career average in 4 seasons.
I never.
He's having a good spring.
Roasted.
Hey, Dylan Carlson's having a good spring too, but we're gonna see how that goes.
It's gonna be. Don't worry.
Have they announced him the starter yet, Dylan Carlson?
No.
That's crazy. He can't start over. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I think we all know who's gonna be first.
Yeah. Big shocker here.
No surprise, Dodgers. They spent a freaking $1 billion in the offseason. They deferred Ohtani's contract like freaking 10 years on the road. It's ridiculous. And he was on route to Toronto. Well, John Morosi, pendejo face, buddy. I love giving him crap, man. It's funny. But, yeah, they got Yamamoto. Although Yamamoto looked bad yesterday. He gave up 5 runs against the Padres. Maybe it's a little shaky. But is he going to be the opening day starter against us?
It's Glass now.
Yeah,
Glasnow, okay.
There's no way.
I think I don't know. I think we can win game 1, but we'll talk about that coming up. But yeah, Yamamoto, Glasnow, like they made a lot. They got Hernandez, Teoscar Hernandez. That was a good move. I mean, their freaking lineup 1-9. I mean, it's just so loaded. It's unbelievable. And it's unfortunate we got to play them opening day 4-game series. And our freaking ace got hurt. We'll talk about that coming up. But yeah, Dodgers number 1. No surprise.
Yeah, for me, I said the Denver Nuggets were last, the LA Lakers were first. I mean, the LA Dodgers are first, ahead of the Nuggets. So the Dodgers, as Colby said, they just go on the spending spree because MLB is too chicken to stop this big market spending and put a salary cap like the NBA, the NFL. They all have salary caps, but the MLB just has some soft luxury tax, and they allow for all these loopholes like deferred salaries. Like, you can't get away with that crap in the NFL,
Yeah.
right, Colby?
No.
Yeah, no. You wouldn't be able to sign somebody that long.
Yeah, you can't get away with just saying defer the salary. But anyways, they added Ohtani, who's the best player in baseball when healthy. Obviously, he won't be pitching, but still good addition. Yamamoto sucked today, but I think he's going to have a pretty good year. Maybe not Cy Young caliber, but I think he's going to be productive starter for them. Tyler Glasnow, if he can stay healthy, that's a Cy Young contender, but he's never been healthy for a full season, so we'll see. Walker Buehler's coming back. But even besides those guys, they have a lot of depth in the young guys like Dustin May, like Bobby Miller, Emmett Sheehan, Gavin Stone. Like, they have so much pitching depth. It's crazy. And the offense is loaded. Betts, Freeman, Hernandez, Ohtani, Smith, Muncy. Like, I'm sure I'm forgetting Outman. The bullpen's still loaded. Evan Phillips is a great closer. So
Our boy Joe Kelly.
Yeah, Joe Kelly.
Our boy.
So they got the Dodgers. I think they're going to finish first. I don't think that is any doubt. But here's my hot take. I think the Braves will still end up with the number 1 seed.
Ooh,
I didn't see it.
that could happen. I hope so. As much as I don't like them
All
either.
right, Mir.
Yeah, it's the LA Dodgers. Ohtani getting the best player in baseball, like, that was one thing. But then they went on and did more and more, and they just did not stop, you know? They got Glass now. They got Yamamoto. I know Yamamoto struggled today, but it's one game. I got to see more sample size from him. I think he could potentially be good, but I don't know if he's good or bad because he never pitched in MLB. So, yeah, their hitting is stacked with Ohtani. You know, they have Will Smith, who's a good catcher, Freddie Freeman, you know, Mookie Betts, even Teoscar Hernandez isn't bad. You know, they just have so much depth in hitting. Their pitching, the only thing is their pitching will struggle a little bit in the beginning because Walker Buehler is injured and Clayton Kershaw. But eventually those guys will come back, and then they'll have even more pitching depth with their hitting depth. They're just signed so many players. There should be a salary cap. You shouldn't – deferred contracts should not be allowed in baseball. Should not be allowed in any sport. It's total BS. How could you get away with this? This is why baseball, like, people are really upset. Some people got so angry, including myself, to a point where I was like, I'm not even going to watch baseball because I already know who's going to win. But
Rob Manfred, the Dodger fan, probably.
One thing I will say, Dodgers winning this division doesn't mean that they're going to go to the World Series. I hope that somehow the Braves or any other team, it's open season on the Dodgers.
What about this?
That would be amazing. If any team could not come out of the playoffs, but Dodgers do have a lot of talent. I didn't like them last year, and I hate them even more this year.
Yeah, I got the Dodgers. I don't like them because, you know, someone was on the fucking plane apparently, but it wasn't. It was a fucking, I don't even know who it was. But anyways, yeah, they're a stacked team. Ohtani's not pitching this year, but he's going to be the best DH in baseball. Guy's a 5-tool player. Then you got 3 MVPs, I think, on this team. Oh, wait, no, Kershaw too. 4 MVPs. Kershaw will be back, and same with Buehler. They'll be back, and plus they can add at the deadline anyway. They have a stacked farm system usually. So, yeah, Hernandez is a good pickup. He's making more money than Ohtani this year. Again, deferred. Everything's gonna be deferred. You know, defer every salary. Glasnow was a good pickup. I think again I agree with Amir. Beginning of the year with the pitching is going to struggle a little bit, but they can just add at the deadline. Like it's nothing. Like I won't be shocked if they pick up a pitcher at the deadline to improve the rotation. But yeah, they're hands down better than the rest of the teams in the division. But again, what Amir said in the playoffs, it's going to be snakes alive.
Yeah, everybody just hope they lose.
Snakes alive.
I don't care if it's the D-backs, the Rockies, the
I don't care who
Padres.
it is.
Just beat the Dodgers.
Anybody. Seriously, anybody.
The Dodgers have faced 3 NL West teams in the playoffs the last 3 years. So Rockies, you're up.
We're going to the best division in baseball.
We made it to the
NL
our division.
Central.
We're closing out with the fucking mid.
Okay, so at 5th place, I have the Milwaukee Brewers.
Wow.
I think they're falling all the way down. I mean, they lost so much. They lost so much talent. I mean, they brought back Woodruff, but he's out the whole year. What's that going to do this year? Like, I know it's a 2-year deal, but what's that do for this year? Nothing. Like, and Freddie Peralta, the Cardinals own him. Like, I'm not scared of Freddie Peralta. Like, he don't move me. And then Wade Miley, like, he's like, what's there? That rotation, like you said, DJ Hall could be a good young prospect in the future, but not this year really. Their offense, they got a couple of good hitters. I mean, William Chairs is good. I like that Rhys Hoskins move. It kind of made no sense because they got him, and then a week later they traded Burns. Like, I don't know what the heck they were doing. Like, they want to compete, but they want to retool. Like, it's just make your mind up, Brewers. Like, but yeah, they got who else? William Adames. He might be on the move at the deadline, probably maybe. The team might want to trade for him. He's been in trade talks. Yelich, we'll see. He's really good. Had a good year last year. We'll see if he can continue doing that. But yeah, this team, I'm not moved by it. I don't know why Brewer fans think they're going to do anything this year because like their team's not good. So just suck it up and realize your team's not good.
Yeah. So I actually have the Brewers in last, but I do think until the trade deadline, it's going to be the Pirates who are in last. But I do think the Brewers will be sellers at the deadline, and that's what's going to knock them underneath the Pirates. Because let's be real, as bad as the Brewers are, they just manage to always pull out some sort of pitching. You know what?
They cheat.
Yep.
Oh,
So
now you know how I feel with the Rays.
What was that?
Now I know how I feel with the Rays, Colby.
Yeah, so why is my cap never on straight? Okay, we got it good now. So they're not going to have Woodruff for the year, but Freddie Peralta, I think he's going to have a good year. But here's the thing. If any of these guys have good years, they're being traded. So that's going to be why the Brewers are going to be a last place team. If Freddie Peralta indeed breaks out into a Cy Young contender, he's out of there. If Rhys Hoskins has a good year, he's getting traded. That's why they signed him, Colby, was so that they can trade him if he does well.
All right,
That's why, because they just need someone to trade. There's no way they're keeping him around. Who else they trading? Devin Williams, he could be on his way. Adames, Devin Williams, they both could be on their way out. I could even see Christian Yelich be on his way out too if he has another pretty solid year. But bright spots, you still have Jackson Chourio. He's the number 2 prospect in baseball. I reckon he's going to be pretty solid for them this year. Garrett Mitchell, he's married to Haley Cruz, but his stats aren't really impressing her that much. So we'll see how that goes this year. I mean, he's got a 795 career OPS, but he's got to do better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, they got some good, solid young players. They have Gary Sanchez on the team. He's another guy I could see being traded. Not William Contreras just yet. Huh?
I said everybody's getting traded.
Yeah. William Contreras, I don't see being traded just yet, but yeah, the Brewers, they're just going to basically trade anyone who does well and is close to free agency. They're going to trade everyone, so they're last.
Okay. I disagree with Coley and St. Louis Cards coverage. I think it's going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Woo.
I think Pittsburgh every year, except last year, it was the Cardinals, but every year this team finishes last. But could I see the Brewers finishing last? Absolutely. You guys brought up great points, so I'm not like that far off from you guys. I could definitely, I definitely think they will struggle, but I think it's the Pirates. I mean, Mitch Keller is like, he's good, but like, who else do they really have on the pitching? Bednar is a great closer. That guy always closes us out when they if they do somehow have a lead against us. Um, but like Brian Reynolds, he's good. Key Brian Hayes, he's all right. O'Neal Cruz is good, but he always gets hurt. And I just don't believe in this Pirates team. And I know they got Michael A. Taylor, but he ain't that great. I don't know. I don't think this Pirates team is going to be that good. Would it surprise me if Brewers were worse? Not really. But I like that Cardinals coverage did say Pirates would start off worse, and then the Brewers would trade every single player they have. And they will go underneath them. If that happens, then I agree with you. But I think it's going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. They are historically bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my brothers down low. I got the Brewers last place. I agree. It's gonna be a fire sale. They're gonna trade everyone. I think they're gonna eat up the contract of Yelich if he has a somewhat good year and trade him to a team. I like Jackson. I think he's gonna be a good player. Freddie Peralta, outside of playing the Cardinals, he's a solid pitcher. Again, Reese Hoskins, fire sale. Everyone's on a fire sale except like Contreras, DL Hall. But yeah, I think they're last place, man. It's time for them to rebuild. Like they can't
Time for
compete
them to
anymore.
reboot.
I don't know. They never ever go in a full rebuild when they need to.
It's time.
Yeah. It's time.
It's time. All right.
Hey, do you think Yelich goes to the Blue Jays? Like I saw that in the trade rumors that Yelich could be a
Oh
Blue
yeah,
Jay.
and there's like rumors of Damas and Yelich. So I don't know. We'll see.
If
Yeah,
that
Baldo.
happens, then they'd finish last for sure if they treat those guys.
I
Yeah.
think they are going to fire sell their way into last place, even if they're fourth.
Vincenzo.
Yeah.
Do you need him though? Like you have Bo at short.
No, he would play third.
Play third? Yeah. So you don't have to do IKF.
So I can't be on the bench where he belongs.
All right. Fourth place, I have the Pittsburgh Pirates. Amir brought good points up. They're historically a dumpster fire organization, but I think this year they finally move up at least a little bit. I mean, they have Mitch Keller, he's a good pitcher. Bednar, they added Aroldis Chapman, he could be good. I saw that. I don't know what he was doing in his Instagram story. What the? I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but he was being really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like he was touching his grandma or mom and weird. I don't know what his deal is, but yeah, they got some good young hitters. I have Brian Hayes in fantasy. I hope he has a good year. I think he's a good young stud. Obviously O'Neal Cruz. Amir said he has to stay healthy. I agree. Who am I forgetting? Oh, Brian Reynolds. He's good. You know, he's supposed to get traded a couple years ago, but he decided to stay with the Pirates. Yeah, I think the Pirates are going to have a solid year. Nothing special, but I think they're better than the Brewers. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think the Pirates are going to finish ahead of the Brewers. Only due to the fire sale that the Brewers are going to do. Because the Pirates, I just don't believe in them. But I do think they're kind of similar to the point where the Royals were last year, like just adding some little pieces here and there, locking up your young players and just going with the rebuild and going another year before, like, in a year or two when Paul Skeens, Tamar Johnson, all those guys are up, it's going to start. Things are going to go up for the Pirates. But this year, they got Mitch Keller, Marco Gonzalez, Martin Perez, Quinn Priester, Bailey Falter. Nah, Mitch Keller's going to be good. Other than that, it's going to be kind of mediocre. Maybe Priester's a little bit is promising, but yeah. No. Bullpen, they got Bednar, they got Chapman. But who knows? They might just flip Chapman to a contender at the deadline, kind of like what the Royals did. Or they didn't even wait till a deadline, but you get my point. They'll just flip him for a prospect later on down the season. Bednar's even been in trade talks before, so I wouldn't be surprised if they traded him too eventually.
If he's gone, that's a huge piece. He's such a good closer.
Mr. Shu?
He's such a good closer. If he's gone, he's really going to hurt the Pirates.
I could see them trading him for the right package, like because they're probably just trying to build for the future. Offense, Henry Davis. I mean, let's look at his stats. Hit 213 in the regular season. He needs to do better in that. Rowdy Telez, G1 Bay,
Rowdy
okay.
Tellez went from the Brewers to the Pirates.
Brian, former Blue Jays legend, am I right?
I
Bondi?
agree. Yeah, he was a legend.
But on the
All right.
left side of the infield, they have a lot of promise. Cabrian Hayes, O'Neill Cruz. Cabrian just needs to take a step forward with his bat, and he'll be one of the better third basemen in baseball if he can just take a step up with his bat. But I doubt he does that. But I can see O'Neill Cruz going off. But as Amir said, he has to stay healthy to do that. Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutcheon, they even got Palacios' brother, Josh Palacios, and Jack Sawinski in their outfield. Pretty solid, but I think McCutcheon's at the end of his career, so we'll see how that goes. So, fourth place for the Pirates. They're not as good as the three teams in front, but yeah, fourth place.
Yeah, for me, it's the Brewers. I agree with you guys. Like, I could see this being either way between the Padres and Brewers and Pirates. I meant to say, Brewers and Pirates. Yeah, I don't like the Brewers team. I think that they will trade some players if they do struggle, but the pitchers that they do have that are pretty good is Peralta, Wade Miley's okay, and I don't know if Brandon Woodruff is coming back or if he's out for the rest of the year, but he's all right. Christian Yelich is good. Um, Willie Adames, he's good too, even though like he might get traded. If they do trade a lot of these players, I could see them going lower than the Pirates. But if they like try to just hold on to these players and never ever go through that full rebuild that they need, then yeah, Gary Sanchez is all right. They just really never ever. I'm kind of surprised they only won this division because they really had Corbin Burns and he was really just dominating that division. And now that he's gone, that's a huge loss for the Brewers. So I think they'll finish fourth.
Yeah, I got the Pirates. I agree with the bottom two right there. I think they did a solid like offseason like to improve their depth. They got Chapman. I agree with Cards coverage. It could be like a Royal situation. They have a lot of good prospects in the farm. I think they need to fix first base because Rowdy Tellez is not your answer at first base every day. They need to get a first baseman. But I like Brian Reynolds. O'Neill Cruz, he needs to stay healthy. That guy's a fucking freak of nature. His size, playing shortstop, his arm, it's nuts. You have two guys, last name Cruz, are fucking beasts in that division. That's weird. I like Chawinski, good little Polish bat right there on the corners. And yeah, I think they're gonna finish in
Bring up
fourth.
Sawinski.
Chawinski. I like Jack Chawinski.
He's all right.
Sneaky little fantasy pick.
All right, me up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, in third place, I got the Cincinnati Reds. They have a good young team. Like I don't think they're ready yet. Maybe a couple of years, maybe 1 or 2 more years. But I like Hunter Green and they got it on Montez. He's out. We'll see. He's kind of that rotation's kind of shaky at times. But they have some young guys coming up. Alexis Diaz is a good reliever they have. Obviously you have what's his name? Jonathan India. I have him in fantasy. Hopefully he has a okay year. I'm not expecting much from him. Who else? They added what would you say?
McLean?
Yeah, McLean.
Not McLean, yeah.
Del Cruz, obviously. Wasn't there one of their prospects like suspended?
Noel V. Marte, yeah.
Yeah, that's why they got Espinal.
Yes, Espinal. I mentioned that, Bondi. But yeah, Reds, I think they're a couple years away. They could shock people, but I think it's going to be the two top teams, dog fight, we'll see. Third place Reds.
To be honest, I am so tempted to put the Cardinals in third. Just
go ahead. I would not blame you, Coach.
I'm very furious with their off season and how they didn't even go try to trade for Dylan Cease. But anyways, unfortunately, I can't put them that low. I'm putting the Reds there too. Good offense, as Colby said, kind of same thing. They have a good young offense, a lot of good young players, good young first-year players who did well last year. De La Cruz, I'm sorry, he's the most overrated player in this division. Like, I know he's good, but people say he's like a switch-hitting Tatis. He's not. He just strikes out like 200 plus times a year, and MLB goes hard for this guy. I don't know why. Like, I don't get it. Jordan Walker is better than this dude, but MLB worships De La Cruz like he's Jesus Christ or something. Anyways, though, they have Matt McClain, they have TJ Friedel, they have Will Benson, Spencer Steer. They got a lot of good young players. Noelvi Marte, when he's not doing drugs, he's a good player as well. In their hitting, in their pitching, they still got Hunter Green. Nick Noladolo is also very filthy pitcher. They kind of stacked the back of their rotation with Nick Martinez, and they got Emilio Pagan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got him. They stabilized their lineup with Jamar Candelario. I feel like that's going to kind of stabilize the lineup a little more, put a veteran presence in the middle of those young players. Still got Jonathan India, Frankie Montas in the rotation too, and the bullpen, Emilio Pagan. So they have Alexis Diaz as well, among some other pieces. So, yeah, good young team, but I feel like they need a little more at the front of their rotation. I think they need to build up their pitching just a little more, but their farm is loaded. So I think in a couple of years, we're going to be scared of this team, especially if Mozeliak and DeWitt just sit down and do nothing. But you remember, the DeWitts used to own the Reds before they owned the Cardinals. So maybe they're trying to hope that the Reds are better than us because they're
All right.
fans.
I love the conspiracies. I love it. All right, Amir.
All right, so I want to say Reds are going to finish in third. Their pitching is okay. Like Hunter Green is all right. Andrew Abbott was pitching well last year. Frankie Montas, like that could work for them. Just because he didn't work out on the Yankees doesn't mean that he automatically sucks. Like, I want to see what he does there. Alexis Diaz is a decent closer that they have over there. They don't have Joey Votto anymore. He's gone and he's old.
He's a Buffalo Bison.
They have Jonathan India, who's a good player as well. Candelario. Dela Cruz is good, but I agree with St. Louis Cards coverage that he's a bit overrated. Like, there's times where he's not that good. Spencer Steer, he's good on the Reds. Nobody really mentioned him, but he had, when I was looking at that, he had a 275 average and he hit 20 plus home runs. That's pretty good. That works in baseball. And yeah, so I think the Reds will be I agree with Cards coverage. In a few years, if they keep building the right way, they can be pretty dangerous. But right now, I think they're just missing a few pieces, and they'll be a little short, and they'll be third place.
Good job.
Yeah,
Amir.
I think we all got the same. I got the Reds in third. Every single a lot of the rookies popped off last year. Again, Cruz, he is overrated, but he's still a freak in nature. Steer, Encarnacion, Strand. They added what's his name? Jose. Third baseman. Fuck, I forgot.
Jamer
Candelario, not Jose. Frankie Montas, and I think Nick Martinez will be a good rotation piece addition. Montas could be he could be a bounce back candidate, be a 4-year ERA guy, but I like Hunter Green. I like Nick Lilordo, Italian legend right there. But again, yeah, I agree they're not ready. Like last year, they could have made the playoffs, but they went very conservative at the deadline. I get it because they wanted to see the young players play, but they missed out on a wild card spot because of that. So I think they need to be more aggressive with, if they're around that part in the deadline, I think they'll actually make moves. But right now, I think they're third place going out of the season.
All right. Second place, it is your St. Louis Cardinals, the team that went out and signed all these elderly guys. They want to be here. Yeah. No, we don't. Oh my God. But yeah, realistically, I don't know. I don't like this rotation at all. It's pretty. I think everyone agrees this rotation is god awful. I mean, I don't see the upside. I mean, you have all guys that like Steven Matz was the youngest guy until Zach Thompson or Libator. Like, just terrible. No, you don't. Miles Michaelis as your number 2. I'm sorry, Amir. I know you like Michaelis, but he's not. He should be a 3 or 4. On a good team.
Yeah,
It's pathetic. He has to be your
I
opening
agree with
starter.
that. I agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the bullpen is. Oh, it's gonna be good. Helsley, Gallegos is good. I thought they made some solid additions with Middleton. I thought that was a good move with the White Sox and Yankees. I think our offense is going to be good. You know, they can't score 10 runs every game, but I think that overall our offense is going to be pretty good. Got a lot of good young hitters. Contreras, I think Herrera is going to have a good year once he gets playing time more. Ivan Herrera, my boy, I like Herrera. Goldschmidt, I think he's going to have he kind of for his stakes, he kind of had a down year, but he still had 25 home runs. It's still pretty good. I know, and this might be his last year on a contract. Like, if the Cardinals kind of suck, they might trade him at the deadline because like he's a free agent. So, this could be it for Goldschmidt in St. Louis. I hate to say it, but they haven't tried to extend him. Instead they extend their failed freaking manager Marmol. I don't know why. What's reward a guy that took us to our worst season in 20 years? Like, come on.
This is gonna turn into a rant. This could turn into a rant.
I was talking to Colby about
No,
this.
no, let's keep the rant
offline.
going. Let's keep the
Yeah,
rant
keep going, Colby.
Oh
Keep going.
God.
And then you signed 2 old. Okay, I would be fine with freaking Matt Carpenter or Crawford, but you got 2 of them. You got 2 old men to be on the DH. We got like freaking 500 lefty nows on the bench. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't understand. I mean, I would just sign one of them, but I don't. Oh, what's that veteran leadership? Yeah, like the Cardinals need Goldschmidt and Arenado should be leaders. I don't know why they aren't. I guess they're not leaders in the locker room. Yeah. Yeah, instead, let's sign guys that are like freaking 10 years past their prime. Like, oh my god. But yeah, I let's keep going. Donovan, I think is gonna have a good year. Gorman, he had a really good year last year. I'm a big fan of Gorman. He's a stud. Mason Wynn, we'll see. He needs to improve his bat. Defensively, he's good. He has an arm, but the bat needs to come and ground it better. I do not like Tommy Edman even in the outfield. I don't know what the frick they're doing. Tommy Edman's an infielder, and he has no arm in the outfield. And, I mean, he's going to miss the opening day. So is Newpart. It sucks. So it looks like Burleson's going to be on the outfield, Carlson or Victor Scott, and then Jordan Walker. But, yeah, it's going to be tough opening day. Get the freaking Dodgers of all teams, the team that spent $1 billion, you know. It's going to be tough. But, yeah, I think Cardinals are second place. They could finish first if Sonny Gray comes back or Miles Michaelis magically pulls something out of his ass to be good. I don't know. And at least Lynn or Matz or freaking Gibson be a little at least comparable, you know, like at least okay. But there you go.
Man, that was good.
Yeah, that was good.
I actually have in second place. I do not have the St. Louis Cardinals in second place. I think I'll explain my reasoning for the Cardinals a little later when we get on to first place, but I have the Chicago Cubs barely missing out on the division. And I think this is going to be a close dogfight between the Cubs and Cardinals all year round, right? The Cubs, they got a pretty solid team with their rotation. You have Justin Steele, who was a Cy Young contender, added Shota Imanaga, but you know, the thing about Imanaga is we really don't know what to expect from him. Jameson Taillon didn't have a good year last year either. Like, his ERA was near 5 as well. So they don't have that. Like, they can't one-up our rotation. Like, Steele is equivalent to Gray. But anyway, they did have Javier Assad do well, or Jordan Wicks. Assad were solid, but rotation, I guess they have Drew Smiley too and Hendricks, but I don't know, man, about that rotation. It's okay. I think it'll keep them in the division, but I'm not sure if it'll win it for them. But bullpen's pretty good. It was a smart move for them to add Hector Neris. That's another thing. Why the heck did the Cardinals not sign him like $9 million? That wasn't even that bad of a contract. Like,
No.
You telling me that you couldn't have signed this dude for like a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal or something like that? Like, I was on my Carl though. on driving somewhere when I saw that breaking news. I just pulled over and just rant about it on Twitter because I was just so furious about it. What happened? Anyways, though, bullpen's pretty good. They got that guy Luke Whittle in the bullpen who throws hard, so he might make the team soon. So good luck to him. Offensively, they're pretty good. Jan Gomes, Miguel Amaya at catcher, okay. Cody Bellinger, that was a good that they brought him back. Patrick Wisdom is overrated. Cubs fans like to say he's going to win MVP, but no, he's trash. He's not good. There's a reason the Cardinals got rid of him. You didn't one-up us. However, Christopher Morel is a very good player. He did have a pretty good year, but he's another guy who like home run or strikeout, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Amir.
Sorry,
No,
I'll
never mind.
try to hurt.
Never mind.
Oh,
Mind.
what'd you say?
I thought
Go
you were
ahead.
done.
Want
I'm
me to
sorry.
hurry up?
No,
No.
Take your time. I thought you were
Take
done.
your
I'm
time.
sorry.
Take your time.
No. So they still got Nick Madrigal, who's solid, who's pretty good, but I don't know. He had a 663 OPS last year. Brendan Donovan and Nolan Gorman are much better than that. Dansby Swanson is so overrated. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care if he has a mullet. I don't care if he goes to Vanderbilt. I don't care if girls think he's cute or whatever. The dude's mediocre. I mean, he hit 244 with a 744 OPS, and Cubs fans will tell you he's the best shortstop in baseball. Like, I know his defense was very good, but 244 average, 744 OPS, and this dude's being paid 175 million. Yeah, Mason Wynn's going to match that eventually, even if he doesn't improve. He's going to match that. So you got Bellinger, Seiya Suzuki's pretty good. Mike Talkman, you have him. Alexander Canario. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, the Cubs, just a lot of mid, in my opinion. But it's going to be stable enough to keep them in the hunt. But it's just a lot of mid. You guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. They
So
are.
second place for them.
All right, Amir.
All right.
But can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Choke, Cubs choke. What a joke.
Yo.
Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are laughing stock today.
Okay. Well,
Mr. Shaw.
wow, Cardinals coverage almost convinced me, but I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I think they really disappointed me last year. They were the worst team in this division. And yes, they did improve, but they didn't make enough moves for me to put them number one. I think they could. It's going to be a battle. Like, it's going to be between the Cubs and the Cardinals. And of course, I want the Cardinals to win the division, but it's not about want. It's what I think. Miles Michaelis, I like him, but he's not an ace. Sonny Gray, it is an ace, but he's injured. But luckily, I heard he's not going to miss many games. So hopefully he comes back soon. We're really going to need him if we want to win this division. Getting Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson was just really bad move by Mozeliak. I know he wanted pitchers who could eat up innings, but I don't want guys who are going to give up 4 or 5 runs and pitch like 5 innings. Like, that's terrible. Like, I don't want that. I just think our pitching is really bad. I do like that we improved our bullpen. We got guys like Kittredge. You know, we have Palantes there. And the starting pitching, Steven Matz is gonna need to step up also. There's just a lot of holes in this team. The offense, I like Goldschmidt and Arenado, obviously, but last year they both had down years. Now I think they'll bounce back, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to help them win the division. Wilson Contreras, I think, will play better now that he's been here for a year, and that, you know, those stupid pitchers like Flaherty are gone complaining about him. That was so annoying. We should not put him at the outfield. No. Another thing, why do we have Tommy Edman in the outfield? This is terrible. I don't like Tommy Edman at all. I would have got rid of him. I would have straight up got rid of him. I would have started. I don't even like Dylan Carlson, but I would have started at him because he's more of an outfielder than Tommy Edman ever was or ever will be. You know, I like Donovan. He could play multiple positions, so that's pretty good. Nolan Gorman was playing well last year. So there are bright spots for the Cardinals, and they could win this division. But I just really the lack of moves. Me and Colby and you too, St. Louis Cardinals coverage. We were all upset that they didn't make more moves. Like they Jordan Walker could be pretty good. Also, that's another player that I have high hopes for. Mason Wynn. At least we, don't have Paul DeYoung on this team anymore. Mason Wynn could be really good if he plays how he did in the minor leagues. Um, yes. So as much as I want to pick the Cubs and agree with you, St. Louis Cardinals coverage, and you almost had me there, I agree with Colby. I just think the Cardinals are gonna miss it. And like we didn't need Matt Carpenter. We don't need, like Arenado should be the veteran. He should be the guy stepping up for this team. Him and Goldschmidt. And I hated when Arenado said that he was happy that they brought Carpenter for veteran presence. Like, no, we don't need that. Like, what is Carpenter really gonna bring to this team? He wasn't even good here his last years here. It's very hard to hit home runs in Bush.
He always got robbed of the warning track.
Yeah,
I don't know why
it's
he
the
didn't.
warning track, and so that too. And Newbar is also starting off the season injured, so that's another big minus. And I think we need to start off strong. And why the hell did we extend Ali Marmel? That was so bad. We should have waited to see what he did this season. If he had a good season this season, we could say, okay, we need to extend you because it's final contract. But his final year on the contract. But we're just making really dumb decisions in terms of like free agency signings. Yeah, I saw that Bondi free agency signings, and I don't know. I think the depth could have been better. I really do like Sonny Gray, but like I was hoping we could have got Dylan Cease. We could have added another pitcher. Michaelis would have been okay, number 3, but as number 2 / number 1, which he has to be now, I don't know. This team's gonna struggle.
And John Mozeliak is a piece of crap.
Oh yeah, John Mozeliak is a piece of crap.
Yeah.
He needs to go, and Ali Marmol needs to go, but now he's extended. So.
Every rant, Colby thinks of a new mean nickname for Mosaic. It's so
Yeah.
fun.
Well, I'll get to the Cardinals when I pick my second place team, which is the Chicago Cubs.
Yes.
I agree with St. Louis Cards coverage.
Wow.
I think the Cubs didn't really do that much this offseason. Instead of they had to have their manager commit treason in Milwaukee. Craig Counsell. They got better managing because David Ross is a fucking idiot. What?
Cards coverage said he would put Cardinals in 3rd, but he's gonna put them in 1st.
No, I just would love to.
I don't know. I won't be shocked if they finish in 3rd, but
I'd love to, but it's
yeah.
to
So
me,
this division's mid. I don't think they didn't make that many good moves this offseason. They brought back Cody Bellinger, and they got that guy from Japan. I like Morel. I think Morel's good. What you said about Dansby Swanson was really funny. Cards coverage. I think he's still good, but like again, he's not going to be the carousel. It's going to be Cody Bellinger leading the offense. Suzuki's a stud. The rotation, Justin Steele was a Cy Young contender last year. I think he can keep it up. I think Tyone could bounce back. It could be like a bottom wildcard team, but I think they'll make some progress. But I don't think they'll have the collapse like they did last year because they were in a wildcard hunt with the Reds like for almost a whole year, and then they collapsed towards the end. So I got the Cubs in second place.
All right. As much as it's pains me to say, the Chicago Cubs win a division. Got a stomach ache right now. I'm kidding, but yeah, it can go either way, man. It can go either way. I think it's a 2-man race for this division, but I think the Cubs have a little more answers that their pitching. I think is better than ours, and I think our offense better than theirs. I agree. They have a lot of mid. But the Cardinals, that rotation is just I can't pick it right now. Like it's bad.
Me and Cole agree on that.
Yeah, I like Justin Steele. I mean, Kyle Hendricks, he's like 50 years old, but he's still okay. Like you said, Tyone, I think he's hurt right now though. I don't know if he's gonna miss the first series or not. I think he got hurt. Drew Smiley, he's not that good, but they brought back Bellinger. I was hoping and praying that he would leave, but of course, went back. They got Suzuki, as Mile High said, he's good. And a guy that owns the Cardinals, Ian Happ, he's good. He just owns this Cardinals team no matter what.
Every time.
Yeah.
And then I agree, what's his name? Where the fuck? Oh, where's this guy at? Oh, Swanson. Okay, Swanson. Yeah, I agree. He's not the as Cubs fans hype him up to be, but I still think he's a good bat. I mean, he's not elite, but he's like average. And I think Nico Horner, he's a good guy, good bat. I just like that Cubs like I think they're better than the Cardinals, like unfortunately, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I think Amir wants to be wrong too. I don't know. I have that feeling the Cubs are just going to win the division. And just because the Cubs win the division, they'll probably be a first round exit no matter what. Like same with the Cardinals. Like whoever wins this division, first round exit probably. Unless the Cardinals
unless the Cardinals add at the deadline.
yeah, unless they trade for a top starter like Bieber or somebody out there. Yeah, well, but yeah, this is a Mickey division. It's not gonna do anything in the playoffs. Most likely not. Got the Cubs first, and yeah, there it is.
Yeah, so I have the Cardinals first, but it's nothing like not me trying to be unreal. I hope y'all don't think I'm just being unreal.
No, I almost picked them for a second.
Here's why I think that they're going to finish first, despite I'm going to go off on them in a minute, but I just want to talk about the positives that I see in what they're doing. Yes, Cal Gibson is no good. Yes, Lance Lynn also. I mean, we should have only gotten one of them. We shouldn't have gotten both those guys. But, I see it as this. If with the offense that they have, I do think the offense, let me talk about the offense real quick. Because, I think Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado are due for bounce back years. I think at least one of them is going to post an OPS above 850, if not both. Even if only one, I still think both their OPS is going to be well above 800. They're going to hit 25, 30 home runs a year. But for both of them, they're going to hit that much, and they're going to be pretty good for the Cardinals. Tommy Edman, I'm sorry, he's not a center fielder. That was the dumbest idea I've ever heard. They should have traded him already because, look, Victor Scott's ready to make the roster, and the Cardinals have no spot for him right now because Victor Scott is, killing it in spring training. But, man, Tommy Edman, he can't even hit the cutoff man in center field. And as Bernie pointed out on the radio, he hits 195 when he's in center field. Man, this is going to go terribly. And I'm surprised if he'll have any trade value after this is over. But he needs to get out of here. He needs to go somewhere. I don't care if he go to Oakland or Atlanta or I don't know. He needs to get out of here. Maybe to Cleveland for Shane Bieber or something. I don't know. Mason Wynn, I'm sorry. I'm just not buying the hype. But maybe he'll actually be a solid hitter. I don't think he's going to be above league average, but I think he's going to be solid. Maybe a little bit below league average. So serviceable, but I don't see him having a stellar offensive year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In terms of Edmund, or not in terms of Edmund, in terms of Donovan and Gorman, I think they're going to be productive. Gorman's going to go off. I think he's going to make the home run derby this year. But I think Gorman's going to go off, have a big year, especially Donovan too. But Jordan Walker, he's going to take that next step up. His OPS is going to be above 800. Lars Nootbaar, if he can just play at least 3/4 of the season, maybe 130-ish games, that's going to be a 4-win season, 4-WAR season. He's a great player. So what I'm getting at, you still have Contreras, right? So what I'm getting at is the offense is still going to do enough to keep the team in games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the pitching – here's the thing I see about the pitching. If they do their job and eat innings and keep it to a level where the Cardinals' offense can respond to, the eating innings can translate to less stress on the bullpen because that was a big problem under Mike Schilt's tenure was how the bullpen performed badly because they were overused. Well, the Cardinals added a lot of bullpen depth. They added starters who can go deep into games, so the bullpen's not going to get overworked this year. In turn, that's going to mean the Cardinals don't blow as many games as they have been doing over the past couple of years, which was a huge problem last year and the years prior. So I don't think we're going to see much of that this year. blown saves, blown leads. So that's why I think that trickle effect is going to lead to them winning the division. I still think that they need to go get a starter at the deadline and maybe even another reliever because I think that they need to go get another reliever. One of those guys is going to bust, but they have a lot of depth in their bullpen, so we'll see how it goes. But they're going to need at least one more starter this deadline. Hopefully, if Shane Bieber's available, it's him, or someone else is available that I'm probably not thinking about. It's him, but that's why I have the Cardinals winning the division.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I respect your opinion, but I think it's going to be the Cubs. As much as I hate to say it, and I pick the Cardinals like all the time, and this time I just was really upset with the lack of moves. But I just think the Cubs, like, they kept their core. They brought back Bellinger. If they didn't bring back Bellinger, maybe I would have thought the Cardinals could. I mean, they could still win it. Like you said, it all depends what they do at the trade deadline. But knowing Mozeliak, he stays pat a lot and doesn't do much. So the Cubs, they have Justin Steele, who's pretty good. Hendricks is okay, and then they got the Japanese pitcher. We'll see how he is. I have no idea. Yeah, they have Ian Happ, who kills the Cardinals, like Colby said, every time, like no matter what. Nico Horner, he's all right. Dansby Swanson's okay, even though Cardinals coverage made that funny joke about Dansby Swanson. Christopher Morel, he's good. Patrick Wisdom's okay. Not like MVP like the Cubs think, but he's still a pretty decent player. I think the Cubs are just gonna, and they have Seiya Suzuki also. So I think they have just like their hitting ain't that great, but their pitching is like Justin Steele is better. He's not better than Sonny Gray, but he's better than Michaelis, obviously. And like I think their rotation is a little better than ours, because I feel like our rotation is like Sonny Gray, and then Michaelis should be a number 3, and then like after that, it's just really bad. Like, and Steven Matz can never stay healthy. Like I think he has potential to be decent, but he always gets hurt, Matz.
Thanks a lot, Bondi, for
Oh my
So
God.
I think that's now.
You should have kept him.
Now,
Man.
cards coverage. If the Cardinals make trades, I do think the Cardinals could win the division. Like, I think me and Colby both agree that this is going to be very close and it's going to be a dogfight and it can go either way. But I think the Cubs will slightly win the division over the Cardinals.
Yeah,
I have to agree with you, Bond. I mean, Amir, that it's going to be based on the trade deadline.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, if they do a lot of moves, then it could be the Cardinals.
All right, closing out now. I think the Cardinals are going to win the division. I got some words to say. I don't think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be two mouses fighting over a piece of cheese. But yeah, I got the Cardinals winning this division simply because I trust their hitting. Like, I love their 1 through 9 better than the Cubs. Yeah, I love Jordan Walker. I think Goldschmidt, he's on a contract year. I think he'll bounce back. I don't think it'll be his MVP year, but I think he'll probably hit like 35 home runs again or around 30. Arenado, I think he'll get better. I don't agree with what he said about the leadership. I don't like that they signed those two old men infielders and fucking Crawford and Carpenter. I think they should have signed like Longoria. I think he needed a backup third baseman. He was way better than those two.
Carpenter.
Carpenter, yeah, Carpenter. And then the rotation, Steven Matz, Pete Walker made him look like gold, but I think he could be a good 5-starter. Gibson, I think he's DFA'd by June.
Gibson sucks
because he's DFA'd by June. Miles could have a good 3 ERA season. I think Sonny Gray's gonna have a good season. He's gonna carry the rotation. But they win this division by proxy because they have a better lineup than the Cubs, in my opinion.
Come on, Bondi.
They win this game.
The Cardinals never give up on guys they're paying big contracts to. Like, they kept Dexter Fowler for 4 seasons.
Oh my God, Colby! How many times did I wanted Dexter Fowler gone?
Oh your God,
All
so
right.
bad.
All right, we're gonna do final words and then we're out of here. So we'll start.
Almost 3 hours. Holy crap!
3 hours. It's a Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw.
This is good. Good doing predictions with you guys. It was fun. 3 hours. I think we did an amazing job explaining like why we think each team's gonna be where. But yeah, maybe we're gonna do this next season. That's gonna be a while, but this is really fun doing this. And shout out to everyone on the panel. And go Cardinals. Peace out, guys.
Yeah, great. It was very fun doing these predictions with all of you. It was fun doing this. We all had great takes on everything, great explanations on everything. So yeah, enjoyed it. Thanks for inviting me, having me on. Follow me on stlcards.coverage on Instagram and stlcardscov on X/Twitter. Really appreciate it. We have 8,000 followers and we're trying to grow to 10,000 by the end of the year. So thank you very much and go Cardinals.
Yeah, #1 Cardinals page on Twitter and Instagram. Fuck the rest.
W.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun being on this panel and talking about, baseball and predictions. And you could tell we went in depth because this video is 3 hours long. So whoever watches this, you guys are troopers for that, watching the whole 3 hours. But yeah, so much fun. And I really hope the Cardinals prove me wrong and win this division. Please don't let it be the Cubs. Please don't let it be anybody else with you guys. Yeah. So yeah, like it was fun having Cardinals coverage on for the first time. Always fun having Colby and Bondi talking to you guys. So yeah, just go Cardinals. I hope that Sonny Gray recovers quickly and he's gonna be our ace. And then we need him to pitch well, and Mats and all these other guys. And yeah, thank you for having me on.
We need to in the video real quick, we need to have it where it's we split it off into sections by division or something for the
All right.
Do like tags?
Yeah. I'm gonna take care of that. Yeah. I thought it was a good video, 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. Everyone did good. I felt like I was surrounded by a swarm of red, but you guys are great guys. I hope the Jays have a good season. ICAF better than Matt Chapman. Good luck to the Cardinals this season. Hopefully AL East downfall, and that's all I gotta say, guys. Peace, and have a good 3 hours. Whoever watches this for 3 hours, you're a fucking true fan.
Get your popcorn and enjoy the show.
And I want to see your takes in the comments down below. That's all I gotta say, guys. Peace.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Yep. Peace.